to see what he's capable of doing.
Bill Schmidt.
I think it's going to be extremely fun.
And Armin Saryan.
Oh, man, I don't know. I hope I can live up to the hype.
Nooners. Hit the guys up on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line at 414-799-1973.
Unbelievably fantastic, man. I love to listen to your show.
9 to Noon is brought to you by Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza, a Palermo's family of brands. Welcome to 9 to Noon.
What matters a party. When they said it was sausages, they weren't kidding. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. I don't know.
What's up, everybody? It's Nooner Day 5. We're out here finally in the parking lot for the first time in Nooner Day. We're in the Robin doing the Yount lot, Yount 3. You know where it is. Come on. Come out. Find the trailer. You'll see it. And here it is. The Nooner Day 5 shirt. You see how on the front it says Nooner Day 5?
Dynamite drop-in money at Broadcast School has really paid off.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Yount General Parking Lot at American Family Field. It's Nooner Day 5 and the festivities are already underway.
Here we go. It's a long-awaited arrival. The Billy brought us here.
There is no way you can do worse.
Chourio, soft into center, base hit, and it gets by. Chourio on the move. He's on his way to third. He's going to be sent. Relay throw, lane. It's an inside the park homer for Jackson Chourio.
The park home run, Chourio, it's Nooner Day magic. Something always crazy happens on Nooner Day. And today it was the Bowers Grand Slam, and Jackson Chourio inside the park home run.
Line drive! A clean hit for Monasterio, wins it 6-5-10.
So this is so special, this thing. I love this thing. I love being part of this thing. I love being part of the city of Milwaukee. Thank you, fans, for the all support. So thank you.
It's Nooner Day magic!
Oh, that was one crazy party. I am hungover. Oh, tell me about it.
Phil, do not go in the bathroom.
Al, just calm down. Sweet.
Phil, there is a tiger in the bathroom.
What's going on? You okay, buddy?
No, I am in so much pain right now.
Hey, bro, you mind putting on some pants? I find it a little weird I have to ask twice. Pants at a time like this, I don't have any. What the happened last night?
Anyone seen my pants? I've lost them. What a day. What a day as we welcome you in to 9 to Noon, Nooner Day 5, rousing success. You want to talk about Nooner Day magic? It was all over the Yount General parking lot, and that montage masterfully mixed by our guy Armin Saryan details only some of the stories that John Kuhn, Armin, we can chronicle here today because, in that mix was not the man on the street, which I think was a massive part of yesterday.
It's another one.
Right?
I would love to get man on the street in there. There's a lot going on with that, right? Yeah.
The amount of different chugs in the stairwell between section 204 and 205 was epic. I appreciate you guys welcoming me into that party yesterday, but even I couldn't have assumed that it was going to get that much fun.
Yeah. And
wow.
Now you're a believer. Now you're a believer. It's hard. It's like you try to explain this to people, what the Nooners come out and what the Nooners do and the type of party that ensues and the type of magic that happens at Nooner. 5-0.
The magic of Nooner Day.
5-0.
Do not doubt
on Nooner Day. And guys,
5-0, and not only 5-0 in crazy fashion. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, Armin.
Yes.
We're talking 162 games a year times. Well, no, it's not times 30 teams. It'd be times 15 teams. 162. Do this math. 162.
Okay, I'm doing do this math
15,
in my head.
Times 15.
Okay.
Now times it by 52.
Okay, 162 times 15 times 52 is what you're saying.
Sorry, 54.
Times 15 times 54. Yeah. That is, all right, I got it. 131,220. What you just asked me.
So out of 131,220, What we saw yesterday has only happened 4 times.
That's incredible.
A
That's amazing.
Inside the park home run, a grand slam, and a walk-off, all in the same game.
That's crazy.
The magic that we get at Nooner Day on the field, in the arena, whatever we go to see is A1, pretty amazing. But then you put on top of that Jello shots. You put on top
A
of
lot
that
of Jello shots.
beer bats. You put on top of that smoked meat. You
A
put
lot of
on
meat.
top of that regular shots. You find yourself in one unbelievable party. What a day yesterday. Shout out to every single Nooner that attended, because that was
Indeed.
a riot yesterday.
What a fantastic day yesterday. I told you guys, you just cannot doubt the magic of Nooner Day. Not only are we now 5-0, something always crazy happens on Nooner Day, and it's always even crazier than the last time. Let's remember, the first Nooner Day was the Rowdy Tellez home run right into the kids that were screaming Rowdy.
Yes.
What a great moment.
Good one.
Then our next one was Admirals game. Admirals won. The next Nooner Day was just a dominant victory. Of course, we were in left field that day and we got on TV. If you remember that.
Oh, that's
Nooner
right.
Day
That
3.
was the TV day. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys were just baking.
Nooner Day
in
4.
the sun.
Nooner Day 4 was the Tyrone Taylor called home run. Won all year. Called it. He hit the homer. And yesterday, man, can you believe it? A Bowers grand slam and inside the park.
First
home
time
run,
in
and then a
franchise
walk-off.
history that it's been on separate home runs. They had
Amazing.
inside the park grand slams, but they had never had in the same game for the Brewers an inside the park home run and a grand slam on separate at bats. Christian Yelich had some career numbers as well. 300th career double, 200th career stolen base. It was a remarkable day. And we got to see Dallas Keuchel, who was signed earlier that day officially to the team, make the appearance and make the start. And then you mentioned the beer bats, John, and that was another welcomed addition throughout the entire day. But that came after maybe the greatest magic, which was you two delivering 2 of the better, crisper first pitches that stadium is going to see all year long on an absolute parade of first pitches.
Yeah, there were a good amount of first pitches, weren't there?
It was awesome.
You had, I know I had one of the season ticket holders.
There was a season ticket holder one, yes.
My man, I forget
man
his
from
name.
Lacrosse
Day.
Because it was Lacrosse
and
Day.
he told me about how he had, I was like, we got
like
about
400 people or
I
something.
said, we got almost 250, 300 guys. I said, I got 1,000 people from Lacrosse.
Yeah, I
All
dropped
right,
it on you
I'm
real
sorry.
quick.
That's why you're throwing it
You
first.
couldn't let us feel good about our Nooner Day party.
No.
He
You
dropped
had
it
to
on the
just-
table.
You had to one-up us by about 3-4 times.
said,
That's what you had to do there.
I got
And he
about
did
6,
it right
7
on the
buses.
field. He did it right on the field.
Yeah, right on the
right
field.
before the first pitch. He was trying to steal your mojo, Armin.
It's okay.
He was trying to take your ability to reach back and fire that thing across the plate. But it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to take anything.
No, it didn't.
How about, do you think the Brewers invite us back? Do you,
I think that.
I don't know how they don't.
I think
Is
they
it
should
start-
personally.
Okay, but is it starting? It's starting to. I mean, are we starting to become a distraction? The Nooner Day group, I mean, that right field section was loud.
Yeah, we were loud.
We were loud.
When the Nooners came out. Yeah,
we were rambunctious.
We were that. Yeah.
I've never in the 200 or 300 levels seen the usher in the aisle as much as he was yesterday.
He was getting
Frank,
nervous.
Frank the
Frank,
usher,
poor Frank.
Frank the usher kept coming down the aisle like, okay, maybe you want to sit down now. You got to let people in. These people have seats here too. And I'm like, Frank, we are all
Sorry,
here
man,
together.
not happening.
We are all here together, and nobody cares what seats are what. Everybody's just sitting where they want. Frank was in the aisle like we were sitting 3 rows behind the dugout.
No, he was sweating.
Yeah, he was
Right
ready to
on.
go. He
And
was not messing around.
was
So I
sweating
worry
a bit.
about Frank.
Yeah, I do
Who
too.
was the sweet lady that we talked into letting Armin throw the first pitch? Because for all the Nooners out there to know,
Oh, what's her
kinda
name?
got
I believe Amanda.
set up.
Amanda, right?
It was
Yeah,
Amanda.
Amanda. Yeah.
It kind of was set up for me to throw the first pitch, but we wanted Armin to do it so
Have
bad.
to.
And we-
Had to.
I appreciate
and-
that,
and-
guys.
And I
Thank
tried
you.
to, and we didn't want to have to go this route. I wanted Armin to just take my ball, run out there, and throw it.
Right. But
And
Armin-
a pretty
Armin-
good elaborate plan as well that was laid out
yes,
by
it
you
was-
to
I was
Armin.
gonna
It was
I was
really
going to
good.
walk out. I was going to walk out. I was going to point to Armin. I was going to finger him to come here, like, get over here.
Need the right-hander.
Yeah, and he was going to run in, and I was going to tap him and pitch him the ball, and was not comfortable with that because Armin I mean,
Come on, man.
he's
Don't
just
make me
he's
do
just
this.
a rule follower.
Well,
Don't make
they
me do this.
well they were like,
Come
well,
on.
we have it already scripted out, and I was like, I don't want to, get us in trouble with the
But
Brewers.
I don't want to do it, man. I really
But
don't want to do it.
then I'm gonna give Jake a lot of
The
props.
whole
Thank you,
walk
Jake.
through, I'm trying to gas up Armin from behind.
You really did.
Come
You're
on,
like,
dude.
You're
One
doing
time.
This is your chance. Armin.
You
You're
gotta
gonna
do
this. You're gonna do this.
It'll
He
be
was like-
perfect.
He was like in the corner, in my ear. I could hear him. You got to do this, Armin. We're gonna make this happen. It doesn't matter.
It'll work.
They're not gonna
And
be
then-
that mad.
So,
Ask
so
for
you had
forgiveness later.
Billy on your left shoulder with some horns
and then-
on,
and
and
then
then you
you-
had another little
you were
Armin
there.
on your right shoulder.
Yeah.
Actually, you had Leon. You had your dad on your right shoulder with angel wings.
Just about,
saying,
yes.
No, Armin, you do not want to do this. You don't want to ruin
No, he would have
your
wanted
mission
it.
here.
He would have wanted it.
He would have wanted it.
Oh, probably.
So
Probably.
Leon would have been the devil
Sure,
too.
'cause-
So you would have had
'cause-
two devils, one on each.
Well, he wouldn't have seen what the big deal is about letting an extra first pitch being thrown out. He goes, "How many first?" I said,
Why
him that-
not?
He loved it. I sent him the video. And he goes, "How many first pitches do they throw these days?" That's what that's what he said.
Oh, they
But
were
yeah,
quite a bit.
So, but thankfully they were able to get it. They had to get the script of who I was and what my name was up to our buddy Mark, who's
Had it
Mark
perfect.
Richards, a great PA voice for the Brewers, and it worked out. So I want to thank you guys both for really pushing the envelope on that.
Yeah,
Because I know we could have just left well enough alone, and I would have been happy to be on the field. But that was really great. That was a moment, lifelong dream to throw the first pitch out, and an experience of a lifetime. And I didn't spike it. I'm really proud about that.
Yeah,
Made it there.
It was a little bit T-Rexed. It was a little high and outside. A little bit kind of coaxed and lobbed
Be
in
honest,
there.
Armin,
Somebody's
be
chasing,
honest.
though.
Be honest. What's it like to stand on that mound?
It's
It's a different feeling.
I try
what
to
I'm
take a
talking about.
breath and just have a second because I know we got to get everyone through. We got to schedule for the pregame, and Skipper's kid is about to throw one too.
Yeah, that was going to be a pop. Too.
I wasn't gonna let I didn't want to go too long, but it was pretty cool to get up on that mound and just take it in for a second. I'm like, oh, this is what it feels to be Jamie Navarro. You know what I'm saying? And Ben Sheets and the great pitchers and Bruce and Doug Davis.
Do you remember
Lefty.
last year listening to Rich Bisaccia talk about lonely positions on a football team?
Yes,
He talked about
yes.
the kicker
Yep.
and the punt returner and how it's like to stand out there. Standing on a mound by yourself is intimidating. It is a scary, scary feeling. And we're throwing a first pitch that can be terrible.
Right. And I'm like, I could go
And
viral.
is videoed
I don't wanna
by
be
about 97
Yeah.
different angles.
I don't want to be
Yes.
50 Cent and then go viral. You know what I mean?
I wanted you slightly to be.
I actually thought to
Just in a
myself,
little dark place in my
So
mind.
does anybody know? Did we get any praise? Did we get any ripping for our first pitches? I mean, Zabe and Butchie begged.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, they were begging
people to
Levering,
trash
right?
Us, but
Didn't
I
know-
don't think they trashed us. I think they spoke highly of us, or at least I would anticipate that. By the way,
right.
my
Yours
favorite
was really
part of-
good, John. You hummed it in there, man.
My
Yeah.
favorite part about being on the field was getting to talk to Murph, and I did.
That's
And I
true.
did.
Squeeze
And I
your
say
way
this-
over there. I love
listen,
that.
Listen,
He
I say
came
this-
over to us first, kind of.
He was ready. He
right?
knew it so.
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, I don't
Kind
know.
of. That's a
Okay.
nice way of
He
saying
was
it.
sitting in the dugout near where we were standing.
That's right.
He did not come over to us.
Wait.
He did not come over
Hey,
and say,
fellas, appreciate
hey,
it, man.
Armin, sorry, and heard you throwing out the first pitch.
Thanks
today.
for coming
Love
out.
you on 9 to noon.
Right.
Hey,
He didn't
and I
do any of
really
that.
love your bump music too.
No, he didn't do
Great
it.
job. No, he didn't do anything of
No,
that.
he
He
didn't.
didn't
What
know
you
we
guys do?
existed.
He
He didn't
basically
even know
just
we were standing there.
He-
We were normal people that he sees every game. He just happened to come walk to the shaded side of the dugout
That's
so
what
he
he
could
did.
sit in the shade for a minute.
It was by the steps, and which is probably his customary
His spot. Yep,
you know?
yep.
It's, his-
And
it's literally his reserved manager spot.
I remember thinking, wow, he kind of nodded us and said hi to us first. And I'm like, wow. Oh, he said it. Then I realized it's probably because I was staring at him. That's
Yeah.
probably the reason
Yeah, it was
why.
probably a thank you. Yes, I do know that I am here. I appreciate
I
that.
was like,
Thank
hey,
you.
I was like, how you doing, Skip? But I said it softly, so he
You
kind of.
said it so weird. You made it so
Skip.
awkward.
Skip.
You made it so
Skip.
awkward. You made me not want to go talk to him, but I wanted to talk to him.
I'm
So
glad
I
you
had
did.
to take it upon myself to excuse myself from your situation, which
Yeah.
was really awkward. I mean, how were you nervous?
Oh, I was
Were
a
you
little nervous. I was a little nervous thinking about the first pitch, and then that
Your
happened.
voice cracked and everything. You were like, "Hey, Skip."
Hey, Skip. Hey, Skip. Well, that was a little bit,
You
yeah.
sound-
So
I mean, it was 7-year-old Armin Sarian. Hey, Skip. Like,
Skip.
Skip. I mean, it
well,
was
and
hilarious.
then I saw Ricky standing down there, and I'm like, all right, Ricky Weeks is a house. Like when you stand up
Big
close
cat,
to him, I
yeah.
mean,
He's
wow,
not messing around.
what a
Yeah.
specimen.
He's awesome.
But in that sense, yeah, it was a little bit nervous. But it was also, I was like, we're gonna throw the first pitch out. I don't want to spike this thing.
Yeah, thing with all those guys though too.
Yeah,
Every single guy's forum is huge.
They're big forearms.
are monsters.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
I shook Murph's hand. I just
Talked a little football, right?
I wanted to just let him know, hey, I didn't play baseball. I played football. But
Right.
if I did play baseball,
We want to play for you.
I would want to play for you.
Yeah.
Right. That's all. I just wanted to let him know I appreciate his style. I appreciate his pizzazz and how he does his things. And, you know, credit to him. We got a long way to go yet, is what he told me. Right. And then chopped it up a little bit, said he has a background, actually started coaching college football.
I didn't realize that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I did not. And now it's all starting to make sense. Bringing that gritty mentality to that clubhouse that felt like it was white collar once before. And now it is very blue collar, and all of their forms are big and bulking and monstrous. Those guys are awesome.
It was awesome.
That was such a great day being down there on the field, getting to see all of them, getting to, and that's why I asked, do you think the Brewers have us back? You know, I'm over here chatting.
They had great vibes in there.
5 minutes before the first pitch. Oh, well, we're begging to get an extra first pitch thrown out here by Armin.
We did.
We got a rowdy right field section where an usher is like feverishly going up and down the steps because he thinks he's going to get canned because we're too crazy.
I hope you guys tip Frank. That's all I'm saying. I hope the Nooners tip.
That would have been a good
Probably
idea.
not,
I don't think anybody did.
Because it's an usher. They don't get tipped normally.
If anything, you may have just tapped it on one of the automated checkouts.
I will say we did clean up fairly
well.
Like,
so.
We did clean up the pavilions and the parking lot pretty well. It was not trashed when we left, which I'm glad to see the Nooners, kept the place looking somewhat like it was before they got there after they left. So that's always a rule of thumb. So, man, all around, great day.
And then once we left, John, then we made another trip back because, as AAA Dante had mentioned, that we thought that first pitch ball was gone.
Yeah, that was a different situation.
There was a moment of panic there later once we wheeled our way back into the parking lot, almost checking out of the parking lot.
Yeah, and there were some people left that Dante
Scooby,
and company,
Smurf, Scooby was hanging out there.
They didn't know, but it's all good.
It ended up getting secured
by
Josh Albrecht a while before that.
Josh picked up the ball and took it.
Josh was trying to steal your first pitch ball?
He said he was trying to teach me a lesson and never let my first pitch ball out of my hand.
Oh, thanks for the lesson, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks for the life lesson, Dad. Nothing like Josh Albrecht to try and take care of somebody he works with.
I had real
after 9 or 10 Long Islands
because I was really Billy knows this. I was trying to be brave about it, but I was bummed. I'm like, man, did I really lose this ball? I really lost this first pitch.
I almost felt bad for bringing it up when I had asked you,
I
you got the ball.
I didn't realize it until we got in the car, and then Quentin Berry signed that ball.
So
remember that?
So basically,
Yeah.
This is what happened. Basically, Josh stole your ball to see if you were paying attention to your ball.
So the ball is secured. Well, he said
and
that.
because it was stolen, you had no idea. So it's lost. No, it's stolen. You stole my baseball.
He was upset. He said, "No, I secured it for you." He was upset I wasn't thanking him more, and I really had mixed feelings. On one hand, I was really happy that he had it. I was like, "Thanks for grabbing it." But on the other hand, I'm like, if you didn't, I might have been not lost it. So I don't know. You could have just texted me and said, "I got your ball." It was rolling away.
That probably would have been a good one to be able to add in there.
It's okay. It's fine. The ball was great. It was a great day. We got the ball yesterday.
It's a walk-off win. It was
awesome.
a heck of a day. And Eric had mentioned here on the Talking Text line, great first pitches, fellas. What a game to be at. I shouted loud while y'all were walking up sections 111, 112. And the question is, hey, Armin, what's it like to feel like a big leaguer?
Oh, I don't know if I totally felt like a big leaguer, but I did feel like in that moment.
I don't know. You had the personalized jersey on the mound.
I did have the jersey. And
30,000+ chanting your name.
It felt really cool. It's only a second or two, but you try to take in the moment. You try and think about being in that moment, like, oh man, you're living the dream. You're up on the mound. You're literally on a stage. How symbolic, and you're right, John. It is a lonely spot, but it was a lot of fun. To the people that asked why I lollipopped it in there, I kind of T-Rexed it.
Didn't want to skip it.
Couple things. I didn't want to skip it. All right. Because that would have been a lot worse. And I understand I got a little T-Rex in my throw. You have to understand it's from years of trying to learn how to kick serve in tennis, which never worked. But I always kind of had a little bit of like T-Rex in my
kick serve.
Yeah. Kick serve where you try to top spin serve. So that's my excuse for why my throw looks so weird. So there you have it.
I don't understand this.
But I also didn't have any warm-up pitches. All right, guys, I didn't have any warm pitches. So I'm like, I'm just going to get this thing in there It was close to the zone, a little high downside, but I was setting up
You
the
can
hitter.
still get somebody to chase.
I was setting up the
Yeah.
hitter. It was about a sequence right there.
Some high
all right?
nasty cheddar.
Yeah, I was-
JB in the 920 on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Fellas, tons of fun. I feel like I'm going to die this morning, though.
JB, we're happy you had a good time, man. We're happy you made it. I know it's the sacrifice a lot of Nooners like him take to drive down.
Big
to do all
time.
those things,
Yes.
So we appreciate that. I'm glad you had a great time, man. And the Billy Brats, everything was good yesterday.
It
Billy?
seemed like
Oh,
the
delicious.
spice, the heat of my meat was a little bit difficult. It seemed like for some people, no pause. No pause. But throughout, it seemed like fantastic response from all the Nooners that were there. We'll bring you a bunch of different responses throughout the day because we love the interaction that we're getting right now on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. We'll run through some more stories throughout the day. We'll also talk some Bucks draft as they make a selection last night that waking up to all the reaction this morning could not be almost unanimously more disliked. So we'll calm maybe some folks down in the second hour of the program and ask one thing about the NBA draft that may have finally turned the corner, or maybe it didn't. When you talk about the prospects walking across that stage last night at the NBA draft, it is the day after Nooner Day. Anybody has an IV, let us know. It's 9 to noon with Coon, Billy, and Armin statewide on the game.
Got a beat up glove, a homemade bat, and a brand new pair of shoes.
One of the
you want the rest of that? Or that was the
epic
best part?
soundbite. No, that was the absolute best part.
We just
Where it
need
goes
it.
from frying Todd Rosiak, Pat Murphy does in the post game, to then welcoming Sophia Minnerton for being maybe a couple of seconds late, just holding court, John, for 4.5, 5, maybe 10 minutes with his kids up there after a game. And oh, by the way, with a team that's 15 games over 500, that guy is the goods, man. Just so much fun. I don't look at Twizzler. He's a Red Vines guy.
He's so
No,
funny.
I am sorry. I am sorry. You cannot. You can't do that, Todd. Come on.
Oh, it's okay.
Todd.
Why?
You cannot quote Twitter and generalize a fan base because of it. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. That's irresponsible. You cannot generalize an entire fan base by what you read on Twitter.
I agree with that. I do. I think Todd was just trying to walk him into
Armin, what would
a
people
statement.
say about Marquette fans
Oh.
if they looked at you on Twitter?
Or
Marquette.
Providence. What about Providence?
I
fans?
think I represent Marquette fans well. You talking about
Well,
me? Or
do
you
you
talking
think-
Bucks fans or Bucks
I'm
Twitter?
talking about what would a Providence fan say about a Marquette fan
I don't care
after interacting with you?
Well, I
on
don't
Twitter?
care. I don't really care what any
They would
Providence
say- they
fan
would
thinks
say-
or says
they would
because they're
say
all
Marquette-
full of it.
They would say Marquette fans are unhinged. They're
Would
unhinged.
they, or would
They would.
people
We joke-
say
we
Providence
joke a little
fans
bit-
are unhinged when
we
they see
joke-
Providence fans on Twitter?
We joke a little bit about Marquette, and here they go. They lose their minds. They go off the wall crazy.
Oh yeah, Marquette fans are the crazy ones, not Providence fans. Is what you're saying? No. Don't be trying to do this
Armin,
gaslight.
change every
No.
word of your tweets.
No.
Change every single. Go back and look at your Providence tweets. Look back at your Providence tweets. And,
I go after
and change
Providence.
and change every Providence word to a Marquette word, and change every Marquette word to a Providence word, and let's see what you come.
I
up
don't
with.
say the stuff Providence fans say. That's crazy. I do not say the stuff Providence fans say.
All right.
The worst thing I do about Providence fans is I keep them in check. All right, because let's be honest, that's the slum of Big East Twitter. All right, that's
Like when
that's
I
the
read
slum of the Big East. Okay, is Providence. Their fans are the most ridiculous, unhinged clowns. Okay, ever. Now I know that's
your
a trigger-
response at
it's a trigger
11:08
point.
last night. Providence belongs in the A10.
There you go. Now I think that's good. Now that's the worst thing I'll say usually about them.
I don't know if that's the worst thing. That was in response to the Simon Charles account,
Oh my
S_Charles NFL, which got Armin so triggered last night, John, that even after his Long Island's, he was jumping out of bed, feverishly texting responses to #breaking.
What do you
NBA scouts expect Marquette guard Tyler Kolek to go undrafted after he recorded just a 7% on his Wonderlic test.
Armin, can you explain to me what are you, Armin? What are you tweeting? What are you tweeting that late for on Nooner Day? That's it. That's not good. That's not good. We need to have an intervention with Armin. What we need an app to put on Armin's phone that on Nooner days he cannot tweet after call it 8 p.m.
All right, you know what?
Because we know you probably weren't in the right mind frame.
No, I was fine.
That could be it.
I
yeah.
was completely fine. I kept
that's what they all say.
I kept myself in check yesterday
That's
in case
what they
in
all
case
say.
I
That's
got
what I
news.
say too when
In
I
case-
make mistakes. That's what I do.
Yeah. Well,
I was okay.
I say the same things.
I kept myself in check yesterday in
I
case
was
I got
okay. I was
some
fine.
news. So I'm watching the first round of the draft. All I tweeted was no Kolek in the first round, a bit surprisingly, but not incredibly. Someone is about to get good value. And then I get all the clowns and then if I get one more person that gives me a report from Simon Charles _NFL, the most obvious fake account on Twitter.
Nooners, you know what to do right now.
I'm gonna
Just do it
I'm
right
gonna
now.
pull my
Every
hair.
single one of you.
If one more
Every single one of
person asks me if this dumb running joke about Tyler Kolek not being able to read is true. This is the dumbest running joke in the world. First of all,
we just got a message.
First of all,
Armin,
I
is
don't
this
think it's
legit?
funny. I don't think it's funny. And everyone, I'm getting the feeling that people are starting to try and troll me. They don't actually think it's legit.
Hold on. You're going to tell me that people are trying to troll with a bio on Twitter that says esteemed sports journalist and Patriots beat writer, double PhD in journalism and female anatomy.
Right.
You're going to tell me this is not legit?
Right. It's obvious to us but when you know how people are on Twitter, they see one guy in a suit. All right. And they think this guy might be legit with the most ridiculous take in the world. First of all, no one takes the Wonderlic in basketball, and you don't score by a percentage.
I think it's points. I don't believe it's percentage.
This is this running joke.
I don't know. Maybe they do it differently in the NBA.
When you're that bad, maybe they just change it up.
You think it's funny? Steve Zabin.
Actually,
Armin, what do you make of this? Steve Zabin. Come on. Like, really? You guys really believe? Nah, I know. People are probably just trolling.
I don't think anybody actually believes it.
Some people
it's
do.
It's fun that you believe it.
Some people probably do, and they think it's funny. Okay, yes. Okay, this is the most unclever, uncreative running joke in the history of Twitter. But whatever, hey, you people think you're funny. It's Providence fans that do this, that started all this.
That's what I've heard.
It's Providence fans.
That's what I've been told.
Again,
only Providence fans.
It just
you cannot
triggers me.
pull a Todd
Providence
Rosiak
fans.
and generalize an entire fan base.
Yeah, that's what we're going.
By Twitter.
All the way going
You
back to
can't
the top.
do it. You cannot do that.
You're right. You really shouldn't do that. You really shouldn't.
You really shouldn't. Unless you're me,
'Cause-
and it's Providence, and then I will do it.
Because they suck, John. You know that.
Are all Bucks fans Bucks Twitter? We know that's not the case. So you're right. We shouldn't generalize an entire fan base based on
It's
that.
difficult when it's the vocal potential
The minority,
minority, but
yeah,
it's the most vocal, and it's the one you end up seeing the most of. But especially Bucks fans last night. Now, Curtin Grafton was one of the men on our talking text line that instantly responded with a similar take on the Bucks draft last night. Very, very negative. But I also think there's some, and if you just make that too sweeping of a generalization, there's some that are looking at it saying it's the 23rd pick in the NBA draft, and everybody's told me this is like the worst draft ever. So what exactly could be the point? I love, though, when Murph immediately will shoot down Rosiak,
Cooked him.
to then go right into just letting everybody know, hey, this is my room, my interview room. You're going to be here on time. Otherwise, you're going to get called out halfway through.
You know what's kind of surprising about that, right? Is like Murph and Sophia, they know each other so
Oh, yeah,
well.
they're having fun.
Right. I don't think it's that serious, is it?
No.
No, it's not at all. But that's what makes it hilarious.
Well, I agree with you, but people might think, like, is he tough? No, he's just messing around a little bit with these guys.
If people don't think he's messing around in that clip, then I have bad news for you. You're never going to understand sarcasm.
I agree with you.
You won't understand
Yeah.
Murph at all.
Never.
I won't understand
Right.
why this team loves him. Because you can take something that's so serious and you can make it lighthearted all in the same 5-second count. And that is what makes him so incredible of a manager right now. I think it's refreshing. Guys, I'm trying to think of managers in baseball that give you that feel. Can you think of any that like truly give you that feel, that I'm going to put my arm around you while I boot you in the ass? That type of feel every single day. And that's what you're going to feel, an arm around you with a boot in your behind at the same time. That's what he is. He's that kind of manager. He's the guy that you can get respect out of your players with, and he's the guy that your players, love and adore. Also, it's all at the same time. It's all encompassing.
The only thing that I could somewhat relate it to would be like a Joe Madden when he was a little bit, but he was more quirky than anything. He didn't have as much of the rough and tough style that Murph did, but very much was going to lean in on the positive side. We're going to have more fun in here than anything else. Because if we're not having fun, John, these 185 days are going to go by real slowly.
Yeah. And I think on the football side, and I'm struggling to find a comp there as well, but I think on the football side, it might be Dan Campbell. It might be a guy that is going to make you throw full pads on and have full tackle during training camp. And then he's going to cry after practice and ask you to trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That might be it, but that one doesn't even feel the same.
Little
way.
Andy
Not the
Reid.
same. Yeah. Because there's less sarcasm in Dan
you know what?
Campbell.
Andy Reid is a funny guy.
That might be
he
a good
does.
one.
He does actually joke quite a bit. We don't see enough of it, but he does actually joke quite a bit. He's a good one.
Well, and I also think though that it's a lot easier to joke around, a lot easier to have fun when you're 15 games over 500,
Sure, yeah,
right?
sure.
When you're winning,
Oh,
it
yeah.
sure slaps a little bit different when you're 15 games over instead of 15 games under. I don't know exactly how these jokes would be hitting if that was the situation.
That's the thing. We really don't know what Pat would be like if things were going bad, because they haven't gone bad yet, right? I mean, really, they haven't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he'd be much different. I'm not saying that, but yeah, I mean, I know the assembled, media corps, like, he's just being sarcastic, joking around. You almost, that's a badge of honor when you get roasted by Murph, right? It's like when you
Very
see,
fair.
it's like when you see AAA Dante. For
You
the
still
first
don't
time.
want it. You still don't want it. Like,
Nah,
you still don't want it.
It's like when you see AAA Dante, he's going to roast you as soon as he starts seeing you. That's kind of like the fun of it, right?
That's the initiation.
I don't know. You don't want it maybe because,
if you can't handle the smoke, you don't want that in the kitchen.
There are people out there. Like if that happened to me, my dad would be like, he's being mean to you. I'm like, nah, he's just kidding around. Like I know how that
Well,
goes.
Leon would be caping up.
Right,
Though. That's
right,
okay.
right.
That's all good. 414-799-1973. Ton of good reaction throughout here. Rich and Fondy, another good one. Mike Schilt, although then he gets fired 2 years later or 3 years later. And that was a struggle back and forth. Bruce Bochy's an interesting one.
That might be one, yeah.
And now that's a dude that's had a lot of success at the big league level. If that's the situation for Murph, I mean, then he's going to be quoting Kanye. People are going to ask, what would have happened if we wouldn't have won? I guess we'll never know. Because at that point, he's just winning all the time.
If Pat Murphy wins 4 World Series, he can do anything he wants, right? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, there's going to be a remarkable statue of him outside American Family Field if that's the situation.
Imagine the stretch we're in for if that would happen. That would be awesome.
Well, there are a lot more Nooner days, I'll tell you that much. 414-799-1973. The best part was when we sat back and the conversation came up yesterday, John, when we were doing the show on the trailer. Why don't we just do this every day? I don't know. I'd be able to handle it every day.
It'd be hard.
I don't know. I'd be able to handle it every day.
We'd age 10 years in 6 months.
Real quick. real quick. We're going to keep it to Wednesdays, maybe once a month. Maybe we'll spice in another one by the end of the year, but that's going to be it. I think 2 might be our max. 414-799-1973. NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Tons of reaction from all you Nooners that were there yesterday. Like our guy, Justin in North Carolina, who made an appearance on the show with Red Hot Tim Scott.
Which was tough during the work trip to do.
He said, he said, best brewer game I've ever been to. Thanks for such a great time, guys. Time to get home from the work trip.
Yeah, he's been on a tough work trip.
It's a really, really tough one.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got a lot of good stuff done. And we're going to continue to roll through this thing. We're going to talk some Bucks. We're going to calm some folks down on the talking text line as well about that. But there are a couple other stories that have not been told from yesterday, and we'll get into them as well. It's 9 to noon with Kuhn, Billy, Narman. Stay wide on the game.
Stay flossing in that candy paint, blowing, sipping, drink, ready for swing, tearing up a
Such a good mood.
Andrew Monasterio yesterday, after he delivers the game-winning base hit on Nooner Day, makes it a high 5-0 on Nooner Day 5 for the Milwaukee Brewers. 6-5 victory against the world champion Texas Rangers. A 3-game sweep of those Texas Rangers. 48-33 at the mathematical halfway point, and they're 25-12 at home. Another awesome number as that man brings his team up here from the north side coming up this weekend. Might be a little showdown series. And now, obviously, the Cubs are not where many people had anticipated that they would be, but the first one was so anticipated for Craig's return, and people wanted to boo the ever-living stuff out of him, right? That was more the heat. Now, I think you can actually focus on more of the baseball stuff as we're actually getting into the stretch drive, right? This is the meat, the heart of the season, the dog days of the year. But now you flip into the second half. Great move and great time for the Brewers to welcome back that Chicago Cub team and welcome back Craig Counsell and the crew that you ended up ditching last year for those Northsiders. Maybe that grass isn't as greener there at Wrigley Field with all that ivy that he was so fond of talking about when he ended up taking the job. Drew in Greenfield on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line. Fellas, again, much success to a great day in that Nooner Day magic. Big shout out to Scoob and Smurf and the others for serving the Nooners up, and thanks to all for making it all around great day. Looking forward to the next one.
Good to hear from Drew. Good to hear from Mr. and Mrs. Drew, and good to see them. They haven't been texting as much. He said, I'll start texting, but don't worry. If I don't, I'm always there. So I appreciate hearing
He's
that.
always there. He's always there, even if he's not there. He's always there. And man,
those ribs.
There was some food. The ribs.
Oh man, that was good. Yeah.
My God. Were the best ribs I've ever had.
Yes, they were.
That is not an exaggeration. They were the best ribs I've ever had. Unbelievable.
I'm glad you said the same thing, because while I was eating it, I'm like, okay, now I get it that my Traeger exploits are a little bit low, right? Early into my meat smoking time,
you're
right?
Just starting off,
Whatever I was cooking did not taste like that. So there needs to be, I need to reassess what's going on, because them things after the game were elite. Also was a great catch. It was a great time for it, because I think all the Nooners needed at least just a little bit more fuel. And the parking lot was slow getting out, so it made it for an even better time to grab a second tailgate after the show.
We did. We had a nice little group there in that second tailgate, chopping it up. Really great to talk to everybody, meet Nooners, have some fun, have some ribs. You know what? The thing is, Scooby really gets down on that grill, man. He really knows what he's doing.
And he ain't messing around.
And there was meat flying around yesterday. Like, it was crazy.
Pause.
Well, the Billy brats. We had brisket coming from Dan or Tim or wherever. And
you had
was actually
hot brats. You had normal brats. You had brisket. You had brisket breakfast burritos.
That was good. Yeah.
You had ribs. I mean, there was so much unbelievable food. The Nooners can cook, man. The Nooners can cook.
And I also love that we didn't necessarily plan it to end up being the potluck that it kind of turned out to be, where people just brought, hey, man, I brought some meat for everybody to have. Anybody want some? Anyone want to test this stuff out?
That was great.
Great showcase for it throughout the day. Darren said, Armin, with that lollipop throw, my 10-year-old grandson could probably throw better. But hey, you still throw better than J.J. McCarthy. Okay. Nice little backhanded compliment there.
Is it the McCarthy? Why? I mean, that's
better than an NFL quarterback.
I think he wanted to rip on McCarthy, but yeah, I guess
he was trying to give his grandson also some more props.
I appreciate it, and I'm sure your 10-year-old grandson is going to be a much better player than I was. So I'm not offended by that. So yeah, I did kind of loop it in there a little bit.
We might have to have Garrett No Creek. Somebody might have to check on our boy. Had a blast, Nooner, and hopefully I can go to a bar more. The woman who tried to get a couple kicked out us.
Mix in the water, buddy. Mix in the water.
Hmm?
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. See, that's the kind of Nooner Day magic that you can end up having. Chris in Green Bay said, by the way, Billy, my wife got a video of you chugging those beers. You got game, boss. Hey, man, props to farmer Anthony in Sheboygan who ended up, he had called me out for the majority of the game. And then there was a chugging contest that wasn't as much of a contest. I had to set the record straight. I apologize to Anthony.
It is good to see all the Nooners though back at work. Kansas Ken sent us a picture.
Yeah, Ken's in work
from the office. Kansas Ken working in an office. How about that? Hey, you never know. You never know. So I just didn't know he was kind of a white collar type guy.
Yeah,
Kansas Ken,
His collar is blue, baby.
He puts that mullet back and he goes,
working, ready to work and ready to go and ready to have some more fun throughout the day. All right, we're going to take a quick time out, come back. The NBA draft last night, also tonight. ESPN, so thankful that the Lakers took Dalton Connect at 17 and not Bronny James, because then somebody might end up watching here today. Coming up at 3:00 for round number 2. Bucks will be busy early in round number 2. They had one last night that some people aren't loving. John Horst can defend it. Coming up, a couple of good quotes from him last night. And something that maybe we're just taking away from the NBA draft, or just getting even more crazy on what these guys are wearing or walking across that stage going into the NBA. We'll get into it hour 2, 9 to noon. Kuhn, Billy, and Armin on the game.
And we don't give a fuck, 'cause that's your birthday.
Hey guys, Billy Schmid, and Underdog Fantasy is the place to be. Even though the Brewers don't play tonight, there's MLB games, and the MLB Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy is a way that millions of fans are making money, making picks all MLB season long. Their Pick'em game is sweet. All you do is pick between 2 to 8 players, select high or low on your player stats like strikeouts, hits, singles, doubles, what have you. And if all of your picks are correct, you can win up to 325 times your money in a single night. Now, it was L's for my Underdog Pick'ems yesterday at the game. That doesn't mean you stop trying this weekend against those Northsiders. Big wins in our future, I can already feel, on the MLB Pick'em game. The super easy to get started mobile app. Best part about the mobile app is the stats are always refreshing, and you're able to see how close you are to hitting. Download the app today or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Billy, and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Billy, to claim your new customer special of a mystery player pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
make your she got that good. She Michael Jackson bad. I'm attracted to her for her attractive hair. And now we murderers because we kill time. I knock her lights out and she still shine. I hate to see her go, but I love to watch her leave. But I keep her running back and forth. Soccer team, cold as a winter's day, hot as the summer's eve. Young money thieves, steal your love and leave. I like the way you walk.
9 to noon, hour 2, brought to you by Happy Place Hemp and HappyPlaceHemp.com. Everybody relax. Happy Place Hemp is here for all of your CBD, CBN, Delta 8, Delta 9 gummy needs. Locally and legally made right here in Muskego, Wisconsin. Talking to a couple of nooners about Delta 8, Delta 9 gummies from Happy Place Hemp yesterday. Big fans. I was a big fan of that conversation that we were able to have after the game. And they were talking mostly about the effects that they've been able to have from the CBD gummies and how it's a part of almost their daily life, which is fantastic. And it's part of the reasons that Happy Place Hemp is a proud supporter of the radio station. Why continue to endorse them? Because they find different ways to help people day in and day out, not only just for the recreational stuff, but for medicinal purposes all day long. HappyPlaceHemp.com, 25% off your entire order every time at HappyPlaceHemp.com, or just go in and stop by Rob and Chris in Muskego, say hi, and mention that Billy Schmidt sent you, and you'll probably get that 25% discount, maybe even a nice conversation there with Rob and Chris at Happy Place Hemp. So, fellas, last night, the NBA draft night 1, be honest with you, this used to be appointment viewing. Bucks fans' biggest night of the year used to be the NBA draft. Hasn't been that for quite some time. Most importantly, because the Bucks haven't controlled their own pick for a number of different years. So you didn't necessarily know when they'd be selecting. But 23 and 33 this year. So they'll have the third pick coming up here tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say, in the second round that starts at 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, weird change up, right, guys? From what it's been. It used to be a one-night event.
Might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You're going to do it 2 nights?
3 in the afternoon on a Thursday. What could possibly go wrong?
For the second round.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
For non-guaranteed contracts. Like that is what this next 30 picks are. All fully non-guaranteed contracts and camp invites.
Which is a different topic than we're going to talk about, but it made me start thinking maybe they should start guaranteeing second-round picks.
Why?
With the amount of money that's now pouring into the league, with the amount of contracts,
I'm curious.
Because a lot of times it makes be honest with you, it makes getting drafted more desirable than a lot of these picks are now just stash and dash guys or European guys that they don't intend to sign sometimes, and it makes it less interesting for us and the viewer because a lot of these guys would rather pick up on a team undrafted than get drafted late in the second round. I'd like to see the intrigue of the second round pick saying, okay, this is actually going to be worth something, not just you might make the team like anybody else. It might make the second round more interesting. I've just started to think about that a little bit.
Huh.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have to be a huge contract.
Are you implying people are picking players in the second round not because they want them?
I think they pick them because they want the rights to them, but a lot of times it's not with the intention of them playing right away or them being part of the team, at least.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're the last guys on the bench, but
goodness.
I mean,
we're talking about, hey, in baseball, guys get drafted and wait 6 years to come up.
But there's 100 rounds, and it's just different.
Well, I mean, like, for what you're saying is, and John, you lived it, so I mean, I'm not telling you anything different here. Like,
I'm confused on why Armin thinks it will change with a guaranteed contract.
Well, I just think like you have one extra spot. It's not like, why not guarantee that contract or that position like you're going to make the team if you get drafted?
I could see guaranteed 2-way where then you'd end up going into the G League or something. But like, I mean, what you're saying about teams, just using the pick and then not intending them to play, or it being better, more advantageous for players to end up going undrafted.
Sure.
That's like the entire 7th round of the NFL draft. It's like every single player saying, please actually don't take me so I might be able to get a signing bonus and in a place that I can make the team.
Right. But again, there's 7 rounds. So I think if you get drafted in the second round, you're one of the top 60 players. You should get a spot in the league. That's just my thought.
Does the NBA need 60 players? Does the NBA need 60 players every year?
Maybe there should only be one round, but then you'd have more undrafted guys, more workouts, more European. I mean, I don't think it's that. See, I always liked the NBA draft the most because it was the most compact, the most focused, the most, guys you'd hear of, guys that would probably make an impact draft that there was. The NFL draft is great for the first 3 rounds.
But the draft is so different now in the NBA from what it used to be because guys are one and done. Some guys hang around in college just to make the money in college and not really intend to. Most of the names that we have for guys now in college are guys that are career college players is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They're the guys that you see for 4 years. The rest of them head over to Europe, head somewhere else, or go to the NBA after one season. And that's the smart thing for them to do. And that's why it doesn't feel the same. Or that's why it doesn't hit the same, because you have this draft with guys that you know from college, but none of them are getting drafted. It's all people you've never heard of before.
Right. That's a good point.
Stephen A. Smith is a basketball analyst, an NBA analyst, and says on the draft broadcast last night, I've never heard of this guy.
It's outrageous, isn't it? I mean, like
60 guys,
60
There's
dudes.
60 guys you need to know, the top 60 guys.
And if you're an NIL is going to change this too. I mean, if you're a guy that can make
NIL
$2 million,
does, but also the expansion of basketball around the globe
That's
is one of the
absolutely
biggest
true.
things. I mean,
Absolutely.
look at some of the right now, the top 3 to 5 players in the NBA. How many of them are American born?
They're all international.
They're all international
You know?
guys, and the top 2 picks are international guys. So I like that part of it. The career college guys that John's also talking about, it's also becoming a pretty good career, right? Like right now, playing 4 years in college is not a bad thing to roll with. Now, the guy the Bucks end up taking last night did not. He went completely different. When you talk about AJ Johnson, who, John, he was a 4-star dude coming out of high school in California, I think was first committed to maybe Texas and decided that he wanted to go play professionally overseas and get that experience against a lot more grown men. That's a different baptism into professional basketball when you're 15, 18 hours away from home. That I don't know. When Brandon Jennings made the decision a number of years ago, he had a similar situation where he didn't play a ton. He didn't star coming from Oak Hill Academy. He went to Italy, correct?
Yeah, it was like he played for Roma, I think, in Italy, and he
didn't play a ton.
2 points maybe or something like that.
Didn't play a ton. They don't necessarily love playing 18-year-old slender kids. Now, Brandon Jennings maybe was a little bit more compact than 6'5", 165 pounds for AJ Johnson, but I know everyone's looking at the numbers and freaking out here. To me, the only reason why there's more panic is because you didn't see him at Colorado. You didn't see him at Colorado State if he was a 19-year-old kid. And I think you probably get more development going and playing with professionals, even if it's not as good as the Big 12 or the SEC that we watch day in and day out here in college.
I just the size thing to me is irrelevant. Did
Agreed.
you see Kristaps Porzingis, who's been in the league for 10 years? He is a stick figure. Some of these guys, their builds, they can't get bulky. They don't get bulky. And if they do, it messes up their shot, messes up their rhythm, and are actually more prone to injury that way. So
they're young. They're young. Everybody's skinnier when they're 18. Come on.
Exactly.
I wish
we
I was.
talked about the transformation that Giannis made from when he was drafted to where he is right now as the Greek Freak. So you can change your body. You can add to your body. He will change his body. He will add to his body. He will mature. He will develop, and he will grow up here. And in the meantime, you have a guy. And here's the other thing too. The last little nugget of this is, well, it's win now for the Bucks, but what did you think was going to happen in the draft? The NBA draft, especially this year's NBA draft, is not a draft where you're getting a guy who's going to come in and make a significant difference in year one. It's just not the case. It rarely happens in the NBA draft to begin with. Year one, you got a ball. I mean,
that's why Derek Lively was such a story in the finals, because it does rarely happen in the middle teens to 20s.
Rarely happens. And now, more times than not, you got to stash the guy. You got to develop the guy. You got to build the guy. And then year 3, I mean, I'm talking year 3, 4, 5 is when you start finding out, oh, that pick is actually going to work for us.
Well, and that's a large portion of, I understand that there's going to be frustration when you draft somebody people just don't necessarily know.
That's that's the thing. They want it.
I remember when they
know.
Obviously when they drafted Giannis, I made a lot of jokes because they legitimately felt like picked the tallest guy out of the crowd. They said, that dude's really tall. We're going to take him. That's exactly how it felt that night. No one had ever heard of him before.
He was 6'10". He wasn't even 200 pounds either. By the way,
different story.
Talk about skinny guys, different. He was malnourished. Yeah,
but I mean, like you just see Terrence Shannon. Sure, he was an electrifying scorer at Illinois. John Horst talked about it last night. When your biggest criticism by fans that we talk about on the Talking Text line and that we hear And then, John, we've also pointed out from watching the games and now watching them in the last number of postseasons, people say they got to get younger and they got to get more athletic. So they draft a dude with extreme athleticism who's 19 years old, and then it's upsetting. Like, to me, you can't always just have it both ways. Would we like to be able to grab somebody at 23 who's going to play 15 minutes for you next year? Sure. Every other team would have liked those. They just don't grow on trees. And I like John Horst's explanation about it last night, when it is a delicate balancing act that they have to work through as an organization if they're going to be able to take a swing, or if it's a player that can help them win right away.
Yeah, well, this is what he said. I think part of it is looking at the growth and development of our roster. I think we saw AJ Green get on the floor last year. We got Andre Jackson to get on the floor. Marjan is able to get on the floor. Chris Livingston having a great summer. We have a roster with young players that are growing, developing. They figured out how to contribute to our team, a really good team. It doesn't mean AJ can't do that, but I feel very confident about the group we have already. So that gives us an opportunity for him to grow and develop in the right way, mature in the right way, physically and in the game. So he talks, it is a tough balance. And I just, on one side, Bucks fans get frustrated when they can't get a help me now situation, and on the other hand, they'll get frustrated when we aren't young and athletic enough. And it's true, you're not going to get younger. The other thing, guys, is realistically at 23, how many times are you going to get an opportunity to get a guy that's going to help you right away? A good example is last year's 23rd pick for me, Chris Murray, a guy that was a big time college contributor from Iowa, older guy. I think he was 22 when he got drafted. And everyone's like, this is great. He might come in. Now, he went to a team, Portland, a rebuilding team, and only averaged 6 points and 3 rebounds. It's pretty rare to be able to find a sure thing contributor for a contending team at 23. And I think a lot of Bucks fans, they put a lot of excitement into the fact we're getting a pick. Maybe this is a guy that'll get us over the top and be that missing piece. It's unlikely that that's the case. And especially in a draft like this, it was a lot of projects. It's a lot of unknowns. It's a lot of high ceiling, or somewhat looking for high ceiling guys, because it was not, by the pundits, a very good draft, very good quality draft. So
I'm sorry. I was looking at the draft cast, Armin, while you were going through that breakdown here. Did you guys see the Clippers' new logo?
The Clippers got a new look. Let me look.
I was looking and I'm like, wait a second. What team is picking at 46? It's the new LA Clipper logo that, I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't even realize that they had changed.
I thoued it was a minor league hockey logo. I really did. It looks like a hockey logo.
Yeah.
It's a ship.
I have not seen that before.
It looks new. I'm like, what are these Islanders? Like, what's going on?
When did that happen?
Yeah, they went to a new logo, which I don't know.
New logo. Who dis?
Clipper, because a Clipper is a nickname for a ship, but they never leaned into the ship thing in the Clippers. So I'm not sure I like that. It is what it is, though.
Make waves. Los Angeles Clippers. Well, they're going into a new arena. Okay.
Talk about electric.
All right.
Guys? Yeah.
Now I don't feel nearly as bad because they did just.
Is there like is the port of LA like some big port?
Didn't know it was
historical
bumping.
Port?
No, not that I was aware of.
Well, they started in San Diego as the Clippers. So was there a reference there to the ships in San Diego?
Oh, well, that would make some sense.
Yeah,
okay.
But still water.
Be a lot more prevalent, I would think.
That would make a lot more
sense.
But
they've never leaned into the like Clipper aspect of the ship aspect of the logo. So now they have. It's sort of like the LA Lakers, right?
Their logo's terrible, though.
The Minneapolis Lakers, but there's no lakes in LA, and they've never leaned into it's not like they have a big water logo. You know what I mean? Lakers. It's like the Utah Jazz. Well, that's a different story.
They change all the logos and then basically keep the font of Clippers across the jersey like the exact same. Okay, that's very interesting as they go into a new building, the LA Clippers, and maybe they will make a selection here, or maybe they'll sell the pick, because that's going to also be something that you're going to see here tonight. A lot of selling of picks, a lot of cash considerations, John. Like we made the joke about with Dallas Keuchel. We will find out some of the cash in the NBA acquisitions, which is always fun. Last night, these guys toning down the outfit choices in the NBA draft. Are we being able to, as Drew Olson would kind of say, coming back to the mean, little regression towards the mean of normal outfits that we saw last night?
I don't know. I saw a couple guys with the blazer or the suit coat with no shirt underneath.
That's a new look, no shirt.
That is foreign to me. I've not.
That's
seen
a wild power move guys are trying to go for right now.
That is a power move. I am going to wear a jacket with no shirt. Okay. Do you also, I guess you can wear shoes with no socks, so a jacket with no shirt. Okay. Now I have to assume you're going commando as well.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
If you don't have a shirt under the
jacket. You're going for the trifecta.
You're definitely in it for comfort, not for speed.
You also got to.
definitely-
You also probably got to be clean shaven, right? Like I don't know that I see a whole lot of guys rocking taco meat if they're going with no
See,
no
that's
t-shirt,
next.
right?
That's next. Listen, fads and style, that's all cyclical, right? I guarantee it. The non-shaving stuff is about to come back, probably in all areas, right? We're going to go straight Amazonian again.
Yeah,
It's gonna
maybe
be wild.
Really? Let the
It's gonna be
chest hair
wild.
fly, man. I think, let the
You
chest hair
shave yours?
fly.
We went
No,
from tight
don't touch
jeans
it.
to
No.
loose jeans to tight jeans
Right.
again.
The trends
Bell
change.
bottoms have come in and gone out 10 different times. You think shaving's not going to change?
No, the trends will obviously change. You're right about that. It's interesting. You look at some of the old draft suits. The 2003 draft is famous for the baggy suits when guys wore them baggy. And then you look at, some of the stuff from the 90s, the wild color. You ever see Jalen Rose's suit? It was like a red pinstripe, kind of gangster
check this
pinstripe
out.
suit, like the red one. And then you had Big Dog, Glenn Robinson, our guy, who wore, I think, a bright, like mustard colored suit. Drew Gooden had that weird,
wow.
like monk thing with the weird opening on top. But I do think guys have been wearing. Remember, Pablo Banchero had the purple one with all the different little logos. It just felt like last night guys had more regular suits on, which I kind of appreciated. I'm like, maybe we're getting to be less crazy on the outfits. Not that I don't.
Drew
mind a little
Gooden
expression.
looked like he
Yeah.
was in
Like a
Austin
monk.
Powers.
or like a monastery. I thought.
Oh my God.
So there were some wild suits, but it seems like the style is more. I don't know. Like Bull had a really weird one with the Spider-Man with the spider webs.
It
and-
just got, I think we all got a little too aggressive
Yeah.
with what some of the style choices were. But now that move with no shirt underneath, there's got to be some freeingness to that. I mean, like you already mentioned Commando. That's a beautiful freeing feeling.
No, it's got to be.
You're
great.
feeling real good that day. You go in with no shirt underneath a dress coat, a little sport jacket. I don't know if that's as freeing or if there's, more potential chafing.
I
I got more worries than I do potential respect, John. Or maybe I just need a little bit higher move on the sport coat.
But it's one of the. I don't understand the fashion move. Right? Don't you normally do something because it's meant to either provoke some fashion change or look stylish? I've never seen it before.
No.
So you're definitely trying to start a new trend. We're going to start the trend
Right.
of no shirts under jackets.
My-
Hey, it's a risk.
What about the
A
sweat
little bit of a
barrier?
risk.
Well, what
I
about?
mean, I need always a sweat barrier.
Oh yeah, well
when
you're
you
talking
sweat.
to a professional
Right.
sweater, yeah.
That's a problem.
But you also talk about it, John, of trying to invoke some new fashion sense. Is that what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were trying, or Justin Jefferson were trying to do
Yeah,
with that
that's
fashion
another
show?
one.
Was that a
I don't
kimonos
get
or
that.
what?
I don't get that one as well. Like, why do you have a jacket that then tie open? It's completely open in the back.
And it
Joe
looks like it
Burrow's
actually just got ripped.
Yeah, it looked like his jacket got ripped off. But then noticing that as well. I mean, what was that? That was a Versace kind of fashion show. Is
Something like
what
that. It was big time.
Paris.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a Versace fashion show in Paris. Every single article of clothing you see in this fashion show, you never see on the street. You
That
will
is
never
fair.
see-
You never see somebody
you'll-
wearing it.
You'll never see somebody walking down the street
Sure.
with a jacket that the entire back is a hole.
I sure
Like,
hope
there's
not.
a hole. The entire back of his jacket is a hole. Okay, what's the point of putting on a jacket? To keep you warmer when it's
Sure.
cool outside.
Form follows function.
Generally,
Now
yes.
you're going to get rid of the thing that's actually keeping you warm? Okay, what's next? We're just going to cut the sleeves off and wear the sleeves. Here you go. You heard of sleeveless jackets? How about jacketless sleeves?
Putting on my
That's what
shooting
we're gonna
sleeves?
do. You're just going to put sleeves on. Nothing else. Just put the sleeves on.
Yeah, I know. I guess they're just too sexy for the shirt. That's supposed to be
Something like that,
it's supposed
yeah.
to be a joke.
But,
Yeah. didn't
No,
work.
but I just more thought the dad joke for it would be you already know that you were getting it when you came home with a pair of Hollister jeans that had a couple
Oh.
of just small, subtle rips in the leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. From your
The
parents.
dad jokes of, hey, you should get a discount on that
Yeah.
because it's missing some fabric in the back. I mean, they just write themselves. That starts becoming a thing.
Why did you pay full price for jeans? that
Did
are
you
ruined?
get that one half off because
Yeah.
half of it's missing? No, Dad, I didn't. I actually paid double what you thought I would because this is cool.
That's the style now. Ripped jeans.
I don't get that stuff. I don't get that one
I
over
love
there.
it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, there have been some wild outfits over the years, no doubt. Darius Garland, I think, wore a kimono, but it just seemed a little more normal last night, which I did appreciate. But yeah.
What's a kimono, Armin? Am I
That's the
missing something?
Japanese kind of I don't. That's the Japanese look. It was like a kimono. It was
a Japanese suit.
It's kind of an open.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, it's like an open.
Are you saying a robe? What are you saying?
It's like a robe. It's like a sari. You know, the Indians
He
with
wore
a sari.
robe. That's
Look
that's
up. Oh yeah,
incredible.
look up Darius Garland.
So was it? What? But was it like something that you wear in karate class? Was he a black belt? Did he have a belt around
That
it?
would be awesome.
There was a belt.
What
with it.
color was his belt? How high is he?
It was a cream kimono with a cream belt, and I think he had regular pants on.
That's like the entry level karate.
Well, it wasn't a karate. Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was just part of the kimono.
It's a very strange looking fit. I'm
Yeah.
putting it in the chat
It's
right now.
basically a robe. It's basically a robe.
That's a probably better way of putting it.
So
yeah.
he pulled a big Lebowski at the draft. That's awesome.
Yeah, but then SGA at 18 wore the full on grandma's curtains, shirt, tie.
Oh, that's
pants,
right.
suit.
Yes.
It was gold. with
Almost looked like the
flowers.
couch that
The couch.
John was sitting on yesterday.
Exactly. Grandma's couch.
camouflage.
basically. Yeah.
Camouflage.
Mhm.
With
So if you
full
set that-
on,
yeah,
with like leaves and
Hopefully
trees.
it wasn't as wool though as that couch, because you want to talk about professional sweater, that would be cooking in there.
Yeah. Ooh, you'd be melting.
It'd be over in that one. 414-799-1973. A lot more to get to throughout the day, as well as more stories from Nooner Day. I love this one, Brian West Dallas. 25 years in suit sales. I wouldn't let you put a jacket on in my store without at least a t-shirt. Wife beater? Nope. GTFO.
Well, it's 'cause
my man
guys-
said, get out of here. Put a shirt
Yeah.
on and then come
Well,
back.
that's because you're selling them. You know, you guys can't
It's a-
sweat them. You know.
It's a respect thing. You don't throw a jacket on with no shirt. Where
why I
is
don't-
the respect?
That's why you don't try on underwear in the dressing room. Same idea.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Who doesn't?
No. You don't try on underwear and swimming trunks. There's two things you can't try on. Well,
how do I know if they fit?
Well, that's the risk you take. That's the risk. At least I'm not trying them on.
Oh, so you just got to buy underwear. You don't get to know if it
You
fits
gotta
or
know
not.
Was
your-
raw dog in
you
it?
gotta
Never
know
trying
your-
it on?
Pause. No, you just gotta know your size, and then you just gotta buy it and you figure it out. It's either fits or it doesn't.
What happens if it doesn't?
Then you just either get through it and wear it, because I don't like wasting
What-
anything.
what
I'm not
does
wearing
get
too
through
tight
it?
underwear.
Well, no, okay.
Aren't you
fine.
trying to have another one?
But you can't give it away. You give it to Goodwill. You can't give it away. You can't go to St. Vincent de Paul and say, I got extra underwear for everybody.
I'll wash them.
Well, you should wash it. You should wash underwear. Yeah, you should do that. You should. What, you try on underwear? No, you don't. No, don't start telling me anybody that you try on. You know your size and you just.
I'm gonna
buy
tell you
it.
right now, if I try on underwear and it doesn't fit, it's going back.
Yeah, I'm
Going
sending it back.
If I
100%.
buy underwear and it doesn't fit, it's going back. Armin.
This is why I don't buy
Yeah.
any underwear that's not been in their sealed packaging, because I can't trust any of you guys out here not trying on underwear, coming right back on
Armin,
the
I
TJ
will,
Maxx.
I
and
will
putting it back on the
guarantee.
shelf.
I will almost guarantee that you have owned at least one pair of underwear that has been tried on by another man.
You know what, John? I don't want to think about that. I don't.
I love this show.
I don't. I get my underwear at Marshalls and TJ Maxx, and if that
And he
box has been tampered with, I'm not touching it.
and
it
he-
usually does look like they've been
And the
tampered
best
with.
part is, it's probably one of the guys that's trying to bring back the hair and the fuzz. So
All
no
over the place.
manscaping going on. Just nothing but Amazon.
How about these guys trying on swimming trunks? What are you doing? The netting is there for a
Dude,
reason.
I'm trying to know if they fit. I don't want to get swim trunks that don't fit. Then I'm getting out of the pool
No,
and my pants fall down.
I
think that's a pretty
you
normal
got,
thing.
You got medium, large, extra large, double X. You know your size. You buy it. This isn't a
I got
jacket.
different style. I got different size legs.
All right, Armin, throw that jacket.
Two
on.
X's don't always fit.
See if
3X's sometimes are too big.
Throw that jacket on. See if the 40 fits. See if that's not how underwear works. You guys,
I just can't believe this.
You can't believe that you shouldn't try on underwear.
I got to know if they fit.
You definitely
You roll the
listen,
dice. You roll the dice.
You might not try it on in the store, but you try it on at
Try
home.
it on
If
at
it
home.
doesn't fit,
Yeah.
it goes back. It goes back.
Well, I don't return. I never return underwear. Maybe some people do.
Well,
Hey,
maybe your medium legs are just always the perfect
Yeah.
medium size. Not all of us fit all sizes.
See, you never had to try on pants in the husky section.
Well-
That's what's clear right
Well,
here, John.
Pants, and I agree with that. Sometimes pants, and it must have been tough for the linemen growing up.
Well, no, it was just different because my thighs were maybe like a 14 and then the waist was like a 16 or vice versa, and they never worked right. So, yeah, there's a
tough.
couple of Kirkland swimming trunks that got brought back last week. So you can take that, Costco.
I love it.
414-799-1973. It's 9 to noon statewide on the game. How did we get here?
John Kuhn here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And take it from me that if you're trying to order windows or doors in an older home, that can be a little difficult. The way they did things back then, much different than the way they do things today. And it's why many people with historic homes reach out to Pella, because their team of experts can customize windows and doors to match architecture from literally any era. Doesn't matter what kind of home you live in, they offer nearly endless possibilities and design flexibility in sizes, colors, finishes, anything you want. Best part is if you order today from Pella, you get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Yes, 3 years, no interest financing, but the offer ends at the end of the month. Pella's products, they stand the test of time as well. In fact, we're so confident of that they offer the best wood warranty in all of the business. And with a deal like this, there's no reason for you to wait any longer. Get 0% interest for up to 36 months if you order by June 30th at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. So set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. And please tell Gina Della that John Kuhn sent you. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details.
Put the sprinkler on the lawn and run through with my gym shorts on. Take a drink right from the hose and change into some drier clothes.
9 to noon on the game. Why do we step into one here? I mean, goodness gracious. Many people with responses to our conversation from this last segment of you try on underwear and swim trunks. And I didn't realize that it was going to, John, I'm going to be completely honest with you. There's not a whole lot of times Armin freaks out on something that I'm completely caught off guard, that it's such a trigger to him.
Well,
This one I'm
one
I'm kind of surprised.
What, like the text from Nick and Grafton? I heard Tyler Kolek tries on underwear because he can't read the sign that says "Don't try it on."
I thought I wasn't gonna read that one.
Oh, we were. You got us messed up if you didn't think we were reading that one.
No, see, I don't mind that because I know Nick is just trying to be funny here with us.
Oh, I'm glad you do. Yeah.
So that's one thing, right? But
the guy you don't actually know and you don't know what his motives are, that actually bothers you.
Yeah, because he's putting information out there that's not true, and that's a rough thing to say about somebody that's not true. Come on, that really is. That really is. Don't you? All right, let's focus on our topic here. Sorry, guys.
No. What were you trying to focus on right there?
I'm just saying. I think that's just in bad. It's not funny. That's all I was gonna say. That running joke is not funny. That's my position.
Somebody can't read is not funny.
If someone's
especially if he's a college kid. I mean, that's kind of funny.
I don't think that's.
Like,
it's kind of obvious that he can read.
Yeah, he's got to be able to read somewhat.
There's a point where if you're saying something like that about a guy, after a while, it's just in bad taste. It's just not funny to me. I guess it's funny to other people sometimes. Maybe it's because I'm a Marquette. I don't know. I'm a Marquette fan. And
if he played for DePaul, you would think the joke is a lot funnier.
Maybe. To me, it's not that clever. Oh, the guy can't read. The guy can't. What's funny about that? Obviously, I don't know. All right, maybe I'm being tribalistic with my fandom with Marquette and all that.
Definitely.
Stuff.
Quite a bit. Yes, quite a bit.
I mean, I can't. I hate the Vikings.
Very Providence-esque.
I hate the Vikings. I never rolled up and said, Providence. I never rolled up and said, Kirk Cousins can't read, or JJ McCarthy can't read.
We have somebody say he can't throw.
Maybe you should. I think it'd be pretty funny if we did that.
Well, maybe you would be a better fan if you were taking shots at people's intelligence on other teams.
I don't think I would be. I don't think I'd be a better fan if I was doing that. I think I'd just be like these other 15-year-old kids in their mom's basement thinking they're funny, trying to start some stuff up on Twitter because they think that's what is funny these days. I shouldn't say that. It's not mom's basement anymore. Everyone's got phones now, right?
What is it?
It's just on their.
They're still probably living in their mom's basement. Man, housing's expensive nowadays.
It is, man.
You can't just get into a new place.
Yeah.
The price of the rent and different things like that. I mean, it's outrageous. 414-799-1973, like the price of underwear. Come on, Rich and Fondy. Armin, $20 for underwear? You better believe I'm returning them.
See, I love this because I met Rich and Fonda yesterday for the first time, and I got a face to go with their name. Rich is great. Rich and I dapped up.
Brought his daughter. It was an awesome time.
It was really awesome. I'm like, Rich, you're the guy that was like, I'm rattling your cage, Armin. It's okay. I love that. $20. I am a guy that's thrifty. I am a guy that wants to save a buck.
Yes.
But I'm not returning my. I go into underwear buying knowing it's a risk. I know it's a risk.
So you're just going to throw them away?
It's like buying fruit at the supermarket.
Yeah, he's going to use it like a chamois for his next car wash. He's going to dry his car with it. He's going to be frugal.
Do something with it. Yes, maybe I will.
Nobody wants to dry their car with underwear, Armin. It's not happening.
So quit asking.
No, but nobody wants to wear underwear I tried on either.
I'd rather have underwear you tried on because I can wash them than keep my underwear that I try on that don't fit and have to dry my car with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with that one. I don't think that's a reach.
What do you mean? I appreciate you saying that, but I just don't believe it.
Armin,
I don't believe giving those two options. Of course,
don't you wash your underwear before you wear it the first time, anyways?
I do. I don't.
So why do you do that?
Wash.
So why do you do that?
I don't wash.
So why do you do that? So, but hold on. My question to you is, why do you do that? Why do you? The man who does not try on underwear, why does the man who does not try on underwear wash his underwear before he wears it?
Because I know you nasty freaks.
Are you better than everybody else out there? Are you higher and mighty than everybody else out there that you're too good to try underwear on, and at the same time you just assume all of us dirtballs are trying your underwear on ahead of time?
That's what it seems like,
It's
yeah.
not, Bobby. I just can't trust you guys out there aren't bringing your underwear back to the store. Okay, I
I'm not
don't know
gonna
what.
lie.
I don't know who's
Underwear
out there.
never fits the same after the first wear.
100%.
Oh, no,
Joe
I
and
agree.
Stoughton even
First-
said Hanes tidy whities are run like a full size smaller than Fruit of the Loom. And if you don't know that from the same size, you're going to be hosed.
I haven't worn tidy whitey since I was 8 years old, so I wouldn't know. Actually, no, probably older. Probably 10 or 11.
Sick brag.
You're cool and you don't trust us.
I definitely don't trust the public when it comes to underwear. I definitely don't. I will admit it. I assume I'm not like a lot of people. I do assume there's good in everybody, but I do not trust you guys when it comes to underwear.
I told you not to trust me. I told you I try underwear on, and if they don't fit, they're going
back, dude.
That's how it works.
See, but 10 the 920 was with you. He goes, I just turned this on. Who in the bleep tries on underwear? People that like value.
Let me ask you
And
something.
people that are not just going to get hosed. Also,
I know
the
it-
swim trunk deal, because
Yes.
Joe and Hartford has mentioned this.
Yes, that's different, right?
You can also wear underwear when you try on swim trunks.
That part is true. So I
Doesn't mean I do.
I acknowledge
But
that.
you're not going to wear swim trunks with underwear on.
No.
Right.
The only thing that I might, and I have done this because I don't want, once I'm getting out of the pool, to be losing my trunks and then have the whole thing. I'll wear like compressions sometimes under a swim trunk.
It's actually a good move because you
Because
don't
then
want
the mesh won't, start rubbing on me.
You don't want to get Kevin McAllister.
If you're going to try on something, you have to try it on the way you're going to wear it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way you're going to know what
but
it feels like.
but you don't go into the supermarket, John, and start biting the apples to see if they're ripe.
No,
Right?
but I touch it a little bit.
You go in knowing it's a risk.
Turn it around.
You can touch it and feel it, but you go
Pause.
in knowing it's a risk. All right. I had a pair the other day that wasn't good. All right. It was like mealy. I didn't take it back to the store. I know going in fruit is a risk. All right. I know going in underwear is a risk, but I'm not trying it on. That's just my position on that. All right. There you go.
For the record, I've never returned one pair of underwear.
No, you just deal
Not
with it
yet.
like a man, right? That's what men do. We just deal
Bathing
with it.
suits, that's a whole different ballgame.
Sure, I agree with that.
Many
That's
bathing
different.
suits have gone back.
That's
Many.
different. Do you cut the lining out? Some guys say they cut the lining out of the bathing suit.
No.
No, I don't either. That's just shorts. If I want to buy shorts, I'll buy shorts.
I have. Like I had one that was
Well-
real scratchy. So I'm like, you know what?
Well,
I'm
if
getting
it's-
rid of this
If it's
thing.
annoying, I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah. If it's chafing and
Paul on the fall says, how can you not know your size? Well, Paul, some of us, we grow, we get bigger, we get smaller.
Yeah.
It fluctuates.
Some of us
with
aren't
the
just
temperature.
showers.
Sometimes the summer, and believe it or not, a lot of times the summer, we're bigger than the winter. Huh. Imagine how that happens. But it happens.
the Eric and Walker Show has one experience on a mound, and now he's on one.
He is. One first pitch, and you are high and mighty. You're cooler than us, and you know better than us.
Oh.
It's
And now he's the
unbelievable.
prince of
And you don't
undies.
trust us.
I don't trust it. And Dante has some good takes on this. Where are you guys buying underwear that you buy different brands? That's a good point. Do you stick with the same brand?
I'm gonna go with whatever's cheapest.
Yeah, I usually am with you on that. Like, I'll mix it up a little bit, but you come across different brands.
I was so anti big underwear for so many years that to get me back into the underwear game, I needed to start getting bougie underwear.
Right.
I got two under.
Ooh,
and stuff
okay.
like that. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Those the Dickies underwear is a different level. That was a good move by me for the first time once I purchased those. So yeah, sometimes you swing a little bit bigger.
Everyone's got their
Next show bet.
brand they're comfortable with.
Sushi in the Falls next show bet. Armin has to be Armin loses. He has to wear used underwear for a day.
How about not? How about that's not the bet? That I'm wearing used underwear. You know what he's saying?
You don't actually know if they're used,
Yeah.
but you just
Hey,
have to
guys,
wear underwear
you
from
just
an
have to try
open
it.
bag.
I
You
did
just
it.
have to wear underwear from an open bag. Just an open bag. You don't. I won't tell you if they were used or not. In fact, I'll tell you they weren't used. But I'm
Right.
going to open the bag and give it to you, and you got to
Right.
wear it. Okay.
I love that. Oh, it's so good. And now we actually know the stakes of a 9 to noon bet. Hey, progress. There we go. That's what
true.
we're talking
By the
about.
way, the Celtics never hit 52.5. We're even now, John. That was double or nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you have had to pay? The world will never
We
know.
will never know. I guess dirty underwear.
9 to noon on the game.
and see your night skyline. I feel the light, but you don't want to.
I'm going down, down, baby. Your street in the rain. Come on. Boom, boom, baby. Ready to let it go. Shimmy, shimmy, go up. Listen to it loud. Light it up and take a puff. That's the team now. I'm going down, down, baby. Your street in the rain. Boom, boom, baby. Ready to let it go. Shimmy, shimmy, go up.
9 to noon. Hey, prayers up to the Cobb family after we saw that news yesterday. I was just watching Mrs. Cobb's Instagram story that these pictures that they posted yesterday were horrendous. If you didn't hear the story, Randall Cobb and his family's house in Nashville caught on fire after, if I believe this to be right, their Tesla Charger caught on fire.
That's what she said. Yeah,
in the garage. And I mean, the images are really, really horrifying. And she had posted a thank you to the police department, or for the fire department, for their swift action, and said, I cannot get the image of the brave firefighter getting into position out of my head. He didn't even have water to shoot yet. And I truly thought the cars were going to explode and that we were going to lose him in this tragedy. He is a true hero. It's just it's a horrendously scary situation, but very glad that all are accounted for, all are safe. The pups are safe, as well as they said that they were able to go back in and get them. But it is something that catches you off guard instantly. And Randall seems to be, at least when listening to that podcast that he was on, Bussin' with the Boys, John, for at least parts of it, he seems real content right now where he's at in life, trying to potentially move into the next adventure. However, he did mention, he's like, somebody needs a guy around camp or middle of the season. I'll be ready. But otherwise, I think I'm going to be okay. I like that feeling of, I'm going to be very okay if I don't put the pads on again. But if anybody's ready and needs some production, just, you know my number.
Yeah,
give me a call.
Not many guys get to that spot, right? Many guys are told, hey, we're not going to have you back. And then you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And you're waiting because you're going to say yes, and then it never comes, right? That happens to quite a few people, if not the majority.
I was going to say vast majority, probably.
I'd say 90%, probably. I'd say 5% retire on their own accord, and then there's another 5%, maybe a little more. Maybe I'd say there's probably 15%. Okay, I'm upping it up here now. 15% are like Randall, and I think Randall is similar to my circumstance, although I would have liked to have had a bonus year on the end that a team said, yeah, you can come down here and play with Aaron because he likes you and we'll take care of you, and you're not going to dress for the games, but you're just going to practice with us throughout. I would have liked to have had a bonus year. That would have worked, yeah. That would have been a nice little year to tack on to the end. Nonetheless, I can remember 2018 very well. That was my first year being done football, and you're not listed as retired yet. So Randall's not listed as retired, and you don't actually file papers to be retired. Armin, we've debunked that thing already.
That's right. I was surprised.
It's just 1 year from your last game, 1 calendar year from your last game, and you not on a roster. So let's say you get hurt.
Okay.
Let's say you get hurt week 5. And then one calendar year of you not playing games and you not on a roster, you're officially retired.
Officially retired. Okay.
You're officially retired. You can unretire by signing a contract with somebody.
Someone can sign you,
but
right?
it's not like an official unretirement. You're just, hey, I'm signing a contract to go work with these people now, and I'm going to play football. We've debunked that before. So I know what Randall's think. This year is going to be weird because he's going to sit there, and if somebody calls him, he's going to stay in shape. He's going to work out. It's going to be an incredibly fun year. I called it my gap year because I
like that.
People have gap years and
in school,
high school,
100%.
college, from high school. I called it my gap year because I didn't really have a job.
But you had a lot of fun, didn't you?
Oh, I was working out all the time. I was eating great. I played a lot of golf. It was one of the coolest years of my life. A gap year at 30.
And that's the thing.
I suggest that to everybody.
Thank you. Yes.
If you can do it.
If you can do it, I suggest it. Like, and he had mentioned some things. He's like, I plan on, I've been playing football for 18 to 20 years. I'm going to get into something that I'm passionate about. And, in 15 to 20 years, hopefully I can be at a certain position in that realm. I'm like, that sounds awesome. But maybe just enjoy life for a real quick moment, real brief moment. Enjoy your successes, enjoy the family, and then dive into something.
Yeah.
Then you can be the Ryan Braun financial advisor after it seemingly he took like 14 days off. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to get paid to go play some golf.
Yeah. I had so much fun that year. And honestly, had I not taken the gap year, which I was really close not to, I was really close to taking a scouting position in New Orleans. Had I taken that scouting position, I wouldn't be doing this.
No chance.
It's a totally different path. Yeah.
I would be 100% still in football. And that year taught me that being around my family more meant more to me than being around football more, which is still hard because I miss football. But
Yes.
that's what the gap year taught me. I got all this free time to do all this crazy stuff with my kids and, father-daughter camps and things like that. Yeah, let's do this life. This is pretty cool too.
This seems like a lot more fun. It seems like it's going to be very, very good. Hour 3, good doesn't do it justice. It's always our best hour of the day, and that's going to be tough to compete with because our underwear conversation was electrifying. Nooner Day stories from hour number 1 were next level. We got some more Nooner Day text to get through before we get a Coons Can't Miss coming up in 15 minutes. It's 9 to noon on the Game.
But all the colors mixed together to gray. yeah, and they say yeah, and they say yeah. 'Cause all I do is win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them say that.
Hour 3, all we do is win on Nooner Day, and that was the story again yesterday. A 6-5 electrifying win by the Milwaukee Brewers over the reigning, somewhat defending World Series champion Texas Rangers, who are now 37-43. Milwaukee Brewers are now 48-33, and they sit here with an opportunity at the mathematical halfway point to match, on pace to match, the franchise record of 96 wins in a year that the manager said last week, well, people thought we were going to suck. We were expected to suck. They seemingly do not suck. Far from sucking. We'll see how long the staying power lasts for the Milwaukee Brewers. But yesterday, the vibes going into the month of July, which is baseball's month, guys, hard to top at the ballpark. John, you got to take in a couple of straight days then at American Family Field. I'm going to be there tomorrow night.
I had a blast. Have you ever gone to an entire series? Like an entire series?
Oh, I got to think my mom and I did when I was in high school, maybe.
You know, I was only down there for games 2 and 3 with the Rangers. And now I kind of want to do a whole series just to I started getting what I felt to be almost a good familiarity with the Rangers after 2 nights,
you
right?
learn the team, their tendencies, their lineup, what to expect.
And which guys are bigger than what you thought, which guys are faster than what you thought, which guys can hit the ball better than what you thought. I mean, it was pretty cool to spend 2 straight days down there going to the ballpark. And I'd like to catch a whole series, like a good 4-game series against, I don't know, like the Cubs or something.
That'd be outstanding.
Like that. Yeah, that would be wild.
Cubs are coming to town. Yeah,
this weekend Cubs in town, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Can't do it this weekend. Busy this weekend, but
already been down there for too many days.
Yeah, we got to find another different time.
My daughter gave me a hug this morning and acted like I was going for a week. I said, I was only down there for about 36, 48 hours.
They miss you, John. Well, it might be nice. Maybe bring them down for a whole series. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it probably felt like a whole week though.
Gotta find more activities for the whole week for all the kiddos. At least I know.
Sure.
I'm gonna struggle it tonight because I think we're gonna go out to the yard and see our boy Paul Wagner.
Nice.
As the Lake Country Dot-Hounds rivalry game against the Milkmen here tonight. There's a understanding that there's going to be little to potentially no time spent at the seats if indeed we're trying to wander around. I bet that only gets worse. Like Schwartz Center's kids yesterday, though, amazing. So many youngsters that were at Nooner Day.
They're watching the game.
Watching the whole game, hanging out, having fun. That was one of the cool things about yesterday and being able to be a part of it for the first time. We got a couple of different Nooners that messaged in, like Deviation Don. Truly great meeting all of you guys for the first time yesterday. My wife and I had an awesome time. Can't lie, though. I was a little disappointed Kuhn didn't like my nuts. Whoa. Pause. What was that explanation?
I told you, wash your underwear.
What was that going on?
That's why I say wash your underwear.
Who didn't like nuts? Who didn't like peanuts?
I was mashing peanuts yesterday.
You were. I was going to say, I saw you crushing peanuts throughout most of the game and unloading some on Armin throughout the day as well.
Well, the shells when we were celebrating, it's like confetti.
Inside the park homer.
Yeah, it was like confetti.
It's confetti all over Armin.
You can do it with peanuts. You can't do it with pasta. We know that. It's okay.
Also, it's Anthony in Saukville and Brent in the back of the class again. Way up there, doing it just like last year, thinking they're funny. That's who it really was. No, I don't know what the nuts joke was. Did you not try his nuts or something like that?
Well, no, there was at one point in time, there was a bag sent down to me, but then I went to go get another beverage, and then by the time I came back, they were gone.
Oh, that could be it.
And
that makes
somebody
sense.
said, well, they came back down and got their nuts. And I said, oh, okay. Well, they were protecting their nuts.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, watching out for them.
So, you got to bury your nuts. You got to make sure that those things are safe and sound throughout. I love that deal. But
you got to.
The thought of throughout the day, everybody being able to intermingle, and like Kari and Tosa said, so glad I went yesterday. We'll continue to come each year. Had a blast, and everyone left as friends. That's one of the magic moments.
That's
of
the key.
All different Nooners becoming friends with each other. When we walked back up to the seats, I had to make a pit stop and use the little reporter's room because that was when the dam broke, and that was a bad decision. It was a bad decision for me to make the first trip to the little broadcaster's room because the rest of the game was spent a lot of times in the hallway. I was able to meet Nooner, Jill, and I believe Brian. And Joe is the reason why Brian started listening to 9 to Noon. He converted from political talk, and he thanked his wife numerous times next to us. And I said, you really saved your own self, huh? Being able to get not only the political talk off the car, then your favorite show onto his car. It makes a perfect marriage. And then all of a sudden, 5 Nooners walk by, and they were all best friends instantly. It's a remarkable tie-in together to be able to get everybody in one place and everybody just have a good time throughout it. Catch the fever, be a believer, come join in the cheering. It's contagious. That was from your boy Rich and
Well, that's the thing about it, and we know this, guys, but sometimes people don't really. It's that day's not about us, right? We're there for it. It's the show's day, but it's about the Nooners. It's about the listeners, and it's not cliche either. It's really real. It's about the Nooners meeting each other, building the community, and connecting with each other. And that's what we find happens. And I think that's what's the greatest pleasure. Of course, obviously, interacting with everybody and the enjoyment of being there at the game, watching the game. But that's the greatest pleasure, at least for me, is enjoying the community that is being built because of our listeners, meeting each other, having a good time, and say, okay, oh, that's Johnny the Painter. That's Jason and Wilmot. Oh, okay, that's Mickey the Fitz over here. Oh, look, that's Rich and Fondy. I wanted to meet JB in the 920. That I love that part of it, So that's why I was trying to get the shout outs yesterday. You know that, Billy.
You were doing a great job, too, of hitting the shout outs as they were happening and as people were arriving during breaks.
Trying my best.
You were holding court there on the microphone with the speakers blasting out. I was a big fan of that throughout the day.
Well, we got to give everyone the shout outs. That's the important thing.
Nobody was missed. And love all the pictures that people are sending in here throughout as well, because it reminds us of good times. Not that I need a full reminder, but I'll be honest with you, things were a little bit fuzzy this morning. So it's good to remember all the good times through these photographs. And AAA Dante has one of the creepiest pictures of Armin on this talking text line that I may have ever seen. I don't know who you're looking at, but you are staring straight daggers through somebody right there.
Well, I got to check this picture out because I don't know if I've seen it yet here. So I got to maybe I can give you a story by that. But
yeah,
Dante's always
looking young. You're not looking young in that picture.
He just looks mad and frustrated and angry and
probably when we
yeah, John, you're not lying. Kind of
look like you're going to do something you shouldn't be doing in this picture.
Oh, that picture?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was an intense moment in the game is probably what was going on.
And somebody was yelling at you to maybe be a little bit happier throughout the day?
I don't know. Everyone was yelling at me for everything. Armin, stay in your seat. Mostly Josh. Armin, we get up. Armin, move to your right. Armin, we gave up 4 runs when you moved from your seat. Well, I was just trying to get peanuts. Well, all
right. So what was your favorite moment from the game yesterday? The actual game.
Not throwing the pitch out, right? So besides that, the actual
game.
It
could be throwing the pitch out. That could be your favorite thing.
Well, that was the obvious favorite moment for me. But I think the second favorite is probably it's tough because the grand slam was right there with
I knew don't start naming all of them. Just pick one.
All right,
I'll pick mine.
Yeah, why don't you pick yours, John? Because yours is going to be concise.
He just keeps talking.
Throwing out the first pitch.
How about the inside the park home run? I've never seen one of those before, and I don't know if it should have been rolled an inside the park home run. It was a little bit of a misplay there.
Yeah.
Normally true inside the park home runs are balls that are bulleted to the wall and then take a weird bounce off the wall that makes a guy stumble and fall like he's chasing Tyreek Hill around, but he can't catch him. Right? Normally that's what. So an inside the park homer that's like a bloop hit over second base that just happens to hit and trickle out to the wall. That one was fun because we just got done with the whole Jackson Churio. He's the fastest guy in the world. He ran around the bases and changed his clothes before anybody saw him get out of, the telephone booth. I mean, it was cool to see it actually happen after we've had one of those situations already this year. And then to have it listed as a Churio home run, I was really happy with because Armin, if you remember, I picked Jackson Churio to hit a home run.
Damn right you did.
Yeah, and you got the inside the park variety, which is more exciting. That's just like Kramer and Bobby in
thank goodness this was listed the right way.
Yeah,
they scored it correctly.
I think it was appropriately scored because he did make a diving attempt at it and missed. But that's to your point. Most inside the park home runs have to be misplayed at some point.
Kind of like Joe Adell when Jackson gets the one in Anaheim, where, like John said, it kind of scoots weirdly off the wall, goes right past him. That's why I was kind of surprised they gave Adell the error there. But
you might have gone away with not giving the error. I guess
could have done either way.
Yeah.
I'd say
that's why if I had to choose between the two of them, I actually think the first one was closer to an inside the park homer than this one.
Yeah, I probably would agree. And the young lady that was sitting next
But
to me.
this one was at home. This one was at home.
And we
It's a
got to
big
see it, so it was
difference.
better.
Oh my God, it was so awesome. I'm just jumping on the bleachers like, is he going to do it again? Is he going to do it? And it wasn't even close.
No.
And it
he
wasn't
was
even close.
Safe by a mile.
He
The
was just
helmet
flying-
flew off
flying
like Willie
around.
Mays, like we talked
Right.
about the last time, which was even better.
I'm like, no one's going to get to this ball. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. No one's going to get there. And he's flying around third. The best is I think I heard Josh yelling, go to second. Like, well, of course, go to second. Go home, Josh. I think he's making it to second. I think it was Josh yelling. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I might never have seen one live like that inside the park homer. I don't think I have. So that was a great, something.
Yeah, I don't think I have
You
either.
can go to a lot
that
of
I can
games.
think of.
I've been to a lot of baseball games.
I've
I used to
seen
work
grand
there.
slams. I have seen grand
I've seen
slams.
grand slams too. Yeah,
Never saw one inside the park homer.
Yeah, I know, and that was just so much fun to watch. So
Now, pregame, I got to be honest, one of the most electric moments of the day that I will remember very, very fondly. Last segment of the show, the sausages pull up to the tailgate.
We didn't talk about that.
I
yet.
mean,
that was
that
great.
set off a great vibe as well because it felt like the Nooners, John, the 1 hour buffer almost influenced everybody to go even harder once they parked the car and really got going. And that was just a great boost of life going into the stadium.
The energy brought to our Mobile Strike trailer was incredible. It hit at about 10:15, and all of a sudden we went from doing a show to, oh boy, we're about to do it again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to somehow survive
do
here.
this thing again.
Yes.
And somehow we have an hour and 40 minutes left of the show that we have to conclude before we start doing the damn thing again.
And the Polish took the picture with the shirt too. The Polish sausage.
When the sausages pulled up, it was like the show was over in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And everybody was ready to just go absolute hamburger. It was incredible.
It was so awesome. It was so awesome. I'm glad they did it. They in the perfect timing. Everyone got their pictures.
It was perfect timing.
Everyone got their pictures. Dante was first in line to get his picture with
Better
the
believe it. Yep.
sausages.
He was ready to go.
And that was tons of fun. That was tons
Mickey
of fun.
the Fitz just sent us a picture. He said, this is me about 20 minutes after getting home from Nooner Day 5. My wife took this picture, and I believe it's good proof that I had plenty of food and beverages for everybody as he is snoozing on the couch instantly after getting home. I think I was awake for 48 seconds when I ended up getting home because it was pretty instant. Once Armin dropped me off, that it was game over. I was
Well, we got you home. That
the
was
espresso
important thing.
martinis were not helping give any life there at the final round.
Delicious, but a lot of dairy and cream there.
My eyes were closing in the sports book.
Yes, we were getting
We were
tired.
sitting there. We were on the 8th pick of the draft, and my eyes were. Oh, that was a long blink.
Yeah, I was sitting there at the roulette table, and I'm like, I don't know that they're going to want me here very much longer. I think they're
Well,
probably going to ask me to leave.
You know what? It was. It takes a lot of energy. Nooner Day takes a lot of energy out of you. It's a fun thing, but it does take a little bit of energy out of you. Look at it. Yeah, you can see Mickey the Fitz there, who I think in that moment is realizing he should be a Brewers fan and not a Cubs fan. I think that's the thing he's kind of realizing.
And Mickey told me he had a good time yesterday.
Yeah, he knows he did.
At a
He
Brewers
knows.
win. At a Brewers win.
How about this one from Carrie and Madison? Meeting and doing multiple lemon drop shots and fireball shots with Grammy was the cherry on top of the best Nooner Day.
Oh yeah.
Are we getting Nooner's favorite parts of this now? Is that
That's
what
what
we're
I
getting?
like, yes.
Nooner's favorite moments? Okay.
And crazy that they're quite a bit more concise, John, than when we asked Armin for his
Armin
favorite
couldn't
moment.
give us one.
Well,
Armin
it's
doesn't
hard.
have one.
It's hard when you have so many great moments in one day just to come up with one of them. You know what I mean? It really is. It's really hard. I mean, Monasterio's walk-off was also like, because I remember thinking he's going to come through. He's going to come through because I was so mad that we tried bunting in that inning. I was so mad. And I stayed straight at Ken. I said, this is what you asked for, Ken. This is what you like. And he's like, Armin, relax, stuff like that. So I was really glad that Andrew walked out with the home run. It was really great, guys. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Thomas on Alaska brings up a great point. One of my favorite trivia questions. Jackson Churio now needs one more inside the park homer to tie Prince Fielder. And
That's awesome.
I love that. People always forget Prince Fielder, 2 career inside the park homers. And they're both quirky. They were
both very,
yeah,
very
and I'll
strange,
bet you
yeah.
those were hit right into a corner of either left field or right field,
Yeah.
rattled around, shot down the warning path. You know what I mean? That's the way these things normally go.
Well, one of them was.
I was going to say one of them was even better because I think it hit off the catwalk
Correct.
in the Metrodome.
In the Metrodome. One hit off the roof or the catwalk.
Lands
the
like
Metrodome.
50 feet away from any
Yeah,
other
and it was
fielder.
still in
down.
play. I
Yeah.
do remember that. And
So
it was
that was
still
it.
in play, yes.
And the other
They
one,
were just-
and there was weirdness there. The other one that was weird was it as at the time Miller Park. What happened was he hit it down the line, and the ball went underneath the wall in right field, got kind of suspended there, but not really. And the
Alex Rios is like, hey man,
he put his hands up. He was
putting his hand. Yep.
And they didn't get granted to him. It's like, no, you can grab the ball.
Grab the ball, bud.
No, you can grab the ball. We're not giving you ground rule double. And then, of course, it's an inside the park homer because Prince kept going. So
listen, and that's awesome. Is that the team record too?
Might be. I'd have to look that up.
I'm gonna put this out into the ether, Armin. And this one's gonna hit. This isn't gonna be like my Celtics 52 3-point field goals in the playoffs. I feel pretty confident in saying Jackson Chourio will have another inside the park home run within the next year and a half.
Well, heck, he almost had 2 this year, basically. So
I know I'm gonna say by the end of next season he'll have another inside the park homer. Who has the most inside the park homers in Major League Baseball history?
These are the old guys. So like Ty Cobb,
got to be the older.
Ty Cobb has
right?
40.
I don't want.
Ty Cobb has 46 and
46 for Ty Cobb. Was he even fast?
Well, Jesse Burkett, who who played the 1860s right after the Civil War.
They didn't even have fences. They just hit him into the corn and kept running.
This doesn't count.
You can't really compare.
Let's get these Mickey Mantle stats out of here and let's get to some real ones here.
Well, you asked what it is.
I want a real stat. The most inside the park home runs hit by a person in actual baseball stadiums with fences.
I'm looking for a full list of it, but yeah, I'm looking at it's all about at 1905, 1909. Let's see the most recent one I can find here. Hank Thompson, New York, had a couple. Let me see. I'm on the right list, guys.
You got to get on. You got to get to a better one. I got a couple of here good ones though. According to Elias Sports Bureau, Chourio's the youngest player to hit an inside the park homer since Ken Griffey Jr. on May 21st, 1989 for the Mariners when Griffey was just 19 years old. It's the Brewers' first credited inside the parker since August 6th when Yelich hit one against the White Sox. And it's the 31st inside the park home run in Brewers franchise history.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe he won't hit a second. These things are hard to happen.
They're just rare and parks are smaller now. You don't have any polo grounds type parks anymore.
But when you got speed like Jackson Chourio does, and you also just have a bleep it attitude a little bit like Jason Lane does seemingly on the outside, I think he's going to get John at least another crack at it. He's going to get sent around one more time, and somebody's going to have to throw him out, I think, before he starts hesitating at all with taking an extra base when he sends something into the outfield.
There was no extra step. There was no slowing down. There was no rounding it wide because you were going too fast. He was going for home the whole time.
He was on a horse the whole time. All right. The leader of the live ball era, is Willie Wilson. Remember Willie Wilson in the 80s from the Royals? No. Kansas City Royals. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, John. Willie Wilson at 13.
Do you remember him? Since you're asking us?
I know. Okay, the Royals team that won the World Series. I know Willie Wilson was a big part of those teams. Not Willie McGee. I'm thinking it's not. It's Willie Wilson. Not going to mix him up with Willie McGee, but yeah, Willie Wilson.
What about Willie Mays?
13.
Played 13. He played along. Yeah,
man, he must have been real fast. What position did he play?
It's probably. Let's see. I think he was an outfielder.
Center field.
I thought you remembered.
Outfielder. I knew the name. I knew he was part of the World Series, 85 Kansas City, and then he played there for a long time. Played in Oakland to end his career, I think, a little bit. So Willie Wilson was that guy.
There we go, Willie.
Yeah.
You done good, Willie. You done good.
Well, back then you had a lot of turf stadiums, especially in the American. You had a lot of turf. You had a lot of, carpet. So in the 80s, got a lot of cavernous stadiums, a lot of those
weird bounces.
Yeah. You got, and if you had speed, 82 World Series, was it Willie McGee or scored from second on a sac fly at County Stadium? From second. That's crazy when you think about it. So how about that?
Justin in an Uber. My first thought when I heard that Armin and John were throwing out the first pitch, I was wondering if it meant Billy was going to get the call to sing the national anthem. I wonder how many Nooners were wondering that at that exact moment.
That's on next year's docket.
Fortunately, he had a great men's choir, I think, from lacrosse.
Oh, dude, I am so glad they sang it, not me.
They were a lot
better.
I kept saying great harmony, boys. I said stuff like that.
They knew what was happening.
Yeah, they sounded good.
Lacrosse Day was lit there yesterday.
Oh,
that's for sure. No doubt about it. All right.
A lot more people than us. They said, he told me.
414-799-1973. Farmer Anthony in Sheboygan had a blast with all the radio personalities and fellow 97.3 The Game listeners yesterday, and a great game. The old MasterCard commercial day. $14 tickets to Nooner Day, $60 in beer, getting smoked in a beer chug by Billy in front of 300 Nooner friends. Priceless. I like that. That's a good tie. And best thing is, somebody was winning, even though maybe a cashing ticket is one that we can go and get here today.
The man can't miss. Time now for Coons Can't Miss. Presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold.
Spent the last 2 nights in the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and I can tell you from experience, it is very pleasurable. The seats are very comfortable, the food is very filling, and the prices are very accommodating to you and your wallet. You can have a great time down there. Drinks, food, leisure, all of that while staring at a 2,000 square foot LED curved screen with just about everything on it that is happening all at the same time. I mean, we had draft coverage on, we had Euro replays on, we had WNBA on, we had baseball on, we had highlight shows on, all on at the same time. That's how damn big this screen is. It is unbelievable down there. Make your way down if you have not been yet. And next time, maybe you'll see me, Billy, or Armin's down there all the time.
All the time.
Yesterday got us a win.
Huge
Took an
money
easy
line.
one.
Yep.
Took a lazy way out yesterday. I picked an absolute winner,
We run
Brewers, and the Brewers won. So there we go. Thank you. Brewers plus 1.5. Got that victory. That was easy. You want another easy victory today? USA and Copa America taking on Panama. That's a win. You can bump up the juice by selecting no tie, just USA for the win. You can bump up the juice on that, or you can pair it together with a USA under 3.5 goal total and a Christian Pulisic over half of shot. That just means Pulisic's going to put one SOT, shot on target. He gets one shot on target in a USA victory and a total goals of under 3.5. You win yourself a plus 250. That's how you
Now
do
we're
it there
talking.
at Potawatomi Casino Sportsbook. If you want some juice, that's the way you do it. If not, just take the easy victory and take USA. It's happening today. Euro and Copa America is actually fun to wager on, Billy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is a lot of fun to wager on, and you'd be amazed at how many people in that sportsbook are doing it.
All over it. Yep.
A shot gets ripped at a goal. You know exactly who in that book has the over. You know how many people in that book has the shooting team. You know how many people in that book have the other team. It is electric to bet soccer down there at Potawatomi.
I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch the match. So, yeah, contrary to what Zabe said this morning, that God hates soccer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I thought that was interesting. He if he hated it so much, he made it the most popular sport in the world, I guess. But
one of my favorite things about wagering on soccer, just ties. Just get a draw.
Why not?
Because
Right?
then if nobody's scoring,
You're
you're
great.
in.
You're great.
Somebody scores, you're instantly rooting for somebody else.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You can
It's
flip sides in that book as many different times as possible. Really start confusing people. I love that deal.
All right, really quick. It's a U.S. money line parlay. Pulisic over a half shot, right? So one shot on goal, and under 3.5 total goals for the plus 200 parlay. So
I think if
250.
U.S. gonna win, he's gonna have to put one on that.
Oh,
He's gonna
yeah.
have to put one there.
He'll
Come on.
at least get some
Come on,
shots.
Christian. Do it for America.
Yeah.
414-799-1973. 9 to noon rolls with you. Is there anything that's more revered and then treated with more disrespect than the Stanley Cup? We'll tell you maybe the newest and craziest addition to the Cup's, well, cornucopia of delectables that it meets, and a new one here today. It's 9 to noon on the game.
call me Manny Pacquiao. Alley-oop without the hoop, they call me Jerry Stackhouse. Hazing out in public, but
9 to noon on the game. Thanks for hanging out with all of us. Thanks for everybody that hung out with us at Nooner Day yesterday. And thanks to all that are, working through a little bit potentially of a hangover here today. Unlike Ken in the Falls, he said, fellas, I was at the job site at 7 today.
He's
all
fine.
good in the neighborhood.
He also said don't mix in a water.
Don't mix in water. Just steadily drink beer all day long.
Okay, Ken.
Figure it out, guy.
You're better than everybody else. We get it. You're the reason that ESPN made money because the first event was a softball. What kind of stories was he telling you yesterday? I mean, Ken was going, but Ken.
I have a Ken volume button in my ear that I can just.
That's
turn
impressive.
that thing down sometimes. Just let him go.
We do love Ken, though. Thanks for all the help with Sluggos
amazing,
and Darcy
dude.
for making the shirts.
Yes.
But he really was. I thought there was a point about a half hour into this conversation that he was going to go to McCarty Park in West Dallas and try and see who can hit the more softball homers. You guys were arguing about the softball homers.
What did I miss on that home run bet that was trying to be made of hitting homers? And then all of a sudden we're like, hey, no one's doing this.
Ken was just trying to talk about how he was such a great softball home run hitter. I think that's what it was, right?
Yeah, it was something to the effect of
there was gonna be like thousands of dollars on the line for each homer that was getting hit.
For charity.
Yes, for thousands of dollars for charity. I couldn't hit one home run off of him with 10 opportunities, and if he had 10 swings where it doesn't go over the fence, it's an out. He would never get out. He would never be out. He would hit unstoppable home runs. And I would never hit one. How do you figure?
How does this work?
It was the math on that was wild. And then it was like, Harmon's in on this. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
I had no idea what was going on, but I was a big fan of the conversation throughout the day because it was not stopping. It was fantastic. And we appreciate everybody for being there yesterday. Fellas, there's a couple of different things that have run through here over the last week. The Stanley Cup that we saw get awarded on Monday in that great Game 7. We talked about it with the Florida Panthers winning. Man, this cup goes through. They don't let anybody touch it. They got the keepers of the cup. Right. I think their sole job is to have gloves on and polish it whenever they can. Don't let anybody come near it. And then once the team wins it, it gets absolutely the greatest vacation of its life.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the boys in Miami last night clubbing with the Stanley Cup? Going absolutely ham sandwich in the club with bottle service left and right. They at one point, I think, had 3 bottles just like stationed in the top of the Stanley Cup.
Why not, right? It's an ice bath at that point. You can do anything with the Stanley Cup. Might as well go to 11 and party. I'm assuming that's where they were. I'm not really sure.
I think that's where they were. Yeah. And then Roberto Luongo.
I know the club scene, John, and Miami.
I was going to say, I was unfamiliar with South Beach Saurians game.
I'm big on the club scene down there, yeah. So
that might have to be a Nooner Day there.
No, it might be a little expensive.
Okay, yeah.
Probably. Nooner Day in Miami.
No $14 tickets there.
Where is Miami going to let us just pull up and drink out of beer bats and have Jello shots and
they're not gonna
smoke meat on the side of the road? Like, where are they going to let us do that? Do they have designated spots for that?
Probably a less desirable location than in between Pavilion 6 and 7, like we were yesterday.
Can you imagine if the Nooners had the Stanley Cup yesterday, the way they're treating it?
Dude, it would be unreal.
Unreal.
I don't think, though, there'd be anybody going Roberto Luongo and having a bowl of pasta out of the Stanley Cup yesterday. There have been a lot of things. I don't know that fresh Parmesan, John, would have been atop the list of many Nooners yesterday if they had the Stanley Cup there.
Creative. It's creative. And now I wonder and Lord Stanley's Cup has been abused from time to time.
Yes.
But in a fun way and in a ritualistic way, in a tradition way. And I think that's awesome. I love that hockey has some of the traditions that they have. It makes it a lot of fun. I'm wondering, now that Bryson has done this with the U.S. Open trophy, is that going to go the same way now?
I hope so.
Because I'd love to see it. And the best part about that is you find out about one person's personality. Stanley Cup, you find out about every teammate's personality.
Yeah.
Like who's the wet blanket that's not putting anything in it? He's just taking it to mom and dad's and showing it, letting them hold it, right? Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Because you got Longo in there going ham on some spaghetti.
Not messing around.
We had other guys drop it off of parade routes before onto the ground. I mean, all kinds of craziness is going down with this cup. And you find out about each and every person on the team, whether it's a player, whether it's a coach. They all get a chance to. How long do they get? 48 hours?
I think they get 1 day, 24 hours with it. Yeah, one full
day.
day with it. Yeah, John, you're right, though. You find out more, and no disrespect, and we love that people do this. If somebody's going and reading to a 4th grade class with the Stanley Cup, you're going to learn something about him instead of, I'm taking it out with me to Aaron Hills and me and the boys are going to have a heck of a day. Right? Like, this is going to be a little different there. I thought they were going to drown that poor young man at the elbow room when they were pouring the beers from the 2nd floor balcony. Just douse this guy standing right there on the street. He had the moment of his life.
I wonder about this. Is it going to be, that's how everyone, you're right, the tradition, the ritual of treating the trophy like this. No one really did that with the other trophies like the Lombardi until Brady and Gronk started throwing it around in Tampa from boat to boat.
Oh, and people were losing their minds with that one.
But was it like with the Lombardi? Is it different? I mean, John, were you afraid to touch it, or who was someone the keeper of it on the plane after you won? I'm always curious about that. Like, can you approach the trophy, or does someone get to hold it? I mean, when the Bucks won, Giannis took the trophies to Chick-fil-A, but no one's going to say no to Giannis taking the trophies.
That's fair.
We're not trusted enough to have the truth. And you know what? Maybe some of these hockey players shouldn't be trusted enough to take it around. But
not a bad idea.
We do get to, take some pictures, hold the trophy, maybe do some goofy things with it that stays quiet, right? These things stay quiet. They don't really get out there. When you're on the buses, when you're on the plane, bringing it back home, bringing that trophy back home to Lambeau, everybody gets an opportunity to take some more pictures or, possibly do some things with it.
Like, I always wondered, like, does it get passed around to players, or is it like, no, it's got its own seat between Mark and Ted and no one's touching it? Like,
I think Red Batty would have been in charge. Listen, guys, this thing needs to get back to Green Bay.
Oh, it's already in the box, guys. Sorry. Yeah.
We had it on the back of the first bus 1. We had it in the back there heading to the hotel after the game. And I was curious. Is anybody going to check on this thing?
Anybody okay back here?
Back there, you're messing around. Okay. You just trust it's going to get off this thing in one piece. Okay.
That makes sense why it was just glued to Mike's hand then when you guys got back to Lambeau and walked around, because I don't think he was letting anybody else touch that thing. I thought it was glued to his hand.
No doubt. He was protecting it, but I thought it was super cool that he let a lot of fans touch it.
Oh, absolutely.
That was awesome.
But it's like the microphone when you're doing the presentation of the trophy. You're not letting anybody take that thing. You can put a hand to it. You say your piece.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to hold on to this
holding on to this.
I'm going to have to hold on to this thing. 414-799-1973. Our closing ceremonies are coming up next. Tough one last night. We had a Duke fan. I didn't know that we had many on the talk and text line asking about Kyle Filipowski. Saw a tough video of him last night walking away. I'm stunned he didn't go.
I thought he'd go first round. I thought Tyler would, but I thought Filipowski would definitely go before Tyler. So that was more of a surprise to me. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the
couple of interesting
Dukies were fired up, I'm sure.
Yeah, and a couple of interesting players that will be on the board as the Bucks select at 33 this afternoon in the second round of the NBA draft, the move that nobody was asking for, but the NBA and ESPN decided we needed 2 nights of maybe the most forgettable draft in all of professional sports, the NBA draft. That's a fantastic decision, NBA. Fantastic decision. Bronny James night 2 commences at 3 o'clock. We round third, head for home coming up next. It's 9 to noon with Goon, Billy, and Armin in the game.
I got no patience, and I hate waiting. Choke, and then let's ride.
All right, final couple of minutes here. We were soaking in Nooner Day celebration yesterday, so some stuff kind of passed by. Mets and Yankees were playing in the Subway Series, Armin.
Yeah.
You see the Mets' new, essentially adopted mascot?
Grimace, basically.
Is Grimace?
They're basically got Grimace doing everything, which is McDonald's paying for this?
I don't know, but my man was out chugging beers yesterday after the Mets game at Citi Field.
Grimace seems to
Grimace
be
is out here doing the damn thing, dude. And this is the Mets went from on May 29th, I believe, was the day that Jorge Lopez said, I'm on the worst team in all of Major League Baseball, threw his glove into the crowd and said, hey, if they want me back tomorrow, I'll show up. If not, hopefully I don't have to. To now, they're back to 500. They have a giant purple man who is a part of McDonald's chugging beers at games after throwing out a first pitch. And now it seems like being a Mets fan is fun. I thought this was a horrendous existence, and now the Mets are who everybody is enjoying watching right now.
I think all they needed was that bad juju out of there, which was Lopez.
And their closer to get, suspended for 10 games for having sticky stuff on his hand.
Yeah. Well, I like that.
You just need some crazy stuff to go down. It just can't be the same old at the baseball park. You got
amazing.
Some crazy times. You need to have a guy throwing a glove because he's pissed off. You need to have a manager get kicked out. You need to have, some sort of fan revolt over something, and then and then you have a couple victories, and then you're back to being the darlings once again.
And you won 11 of their last 13 games.
And you get McDonald's characters chugging. I mean, like,
that's fantastic.
Hamburglar.
Yeah,
that's
hard to beat. It's hard to beat.
Yeah. It's really going to be tough to beat. Now, I don't know if we can get Ronald McDonald out from the house across from Children's and start chugging beers here. But
that's tough because isn't that like Santa Claus chugging it? There's certain things you don't want the kids to see, right? I mean, they're heroes. But I'm not sure how many kids are even aware of Grimace anymore because they weren't marketing him for a while with all the other characters.
He was completely out of the kind of ether, and then they brought him back here
with the purple. Didn't Grimace have his own meal or a purple
something
shake?
Like that? Yeah.
And the thing is, if you remember, John, growing up, I mean, there was the Hamburglar, there were all those characters, and that was a big part of McDonald's marketing. But they don't really lean into that as much as they used to. But I don't wish bad on anybody either. Edwin Diaz, though. Like, I kind of like that the trumpet song that he was using. See, William Contreras uses that too.
Yes, he does.
I want that to be known as William's song. And to John's credit, he's the one yesterday saying, why aren't we going nuts every time this guy's song is being played?
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's so good. I know.
That was Edwin Diaz's song, right?
Mm-hmm.
He kind of started, and William uses it too for his walk-up
And now
song.
but we can do it too.
Right.
If that's his walk-up song, we need to start having a party when that damn thing comes on because it is incredible. It's fun. It's almost as exciting and intoxicating to find out. Who do you think's going to draft Bronny James here tonight, Billy?
I hope it's Dallas. Not only just because of my 9-1 potential investment, but I just want some chaos. I don't want it to be clean cut. I don't just want him to go to the Lakers, and that's the deal because
we all
I want LeBron off the Lakers, but
we all think. Oh, okay. Why?
I want them to have a chance to go win some, and they have zero
enough.
chance there.
Fair enough. Yeah.
JJ
slander is big on this show.
Yeah,
we don't
no
like
chance.
JJ.
They got no chance.
How about Dalton Connect?
But
at 17, that's a heck of a value.
Yeah. But how about this? How about we keep assuming that the Lakers or somebody who wants LeBron James will come to or will draft Bronny. But what if it's the opposite? What if it's something really crazy? Somebody drafts Bronny and says to another team, we will trade you Bronny for an actual asset.
Yeah, for a first round pick next year.
Yeah, we will actually trade you Bronny, but you give us okay, that
would be funny.
What if the Bucks draft Bronny at 33 tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What and then they say, hey, Lakers, you want to keep LeBron there. Why don't you give us one of your pieces that you have that we could give us Hachimura?
Yeah, let's see a rotation player come back.
Yes,
or
Austin Reeves. Yeah,
or
I know what you're going to say. And
I was thinking, LeBron.
Hey, we just drafted
Come
him.
on now.
Aren't you ring chasing LeBron?
Aren't you trying to win some?
Don't you want to get on a contender?
You want LeBron?
Let's bring him down. Why not?
You do?
I'm
okay.
cool
So that was, but that's the old scenario. A team brings LeBron in. A team drafts Bronny to bring LeBron in. That's the first scenario. I'm talking about an actual
like the Bulls.
I'm talking like espionage type backfiring here. Like, ooh, we got him. We got him.
We got him now.
We ain't using them, but we're using them.
And we're going to hold you hostage till you give us something for him.
Exactly. Or trade him to someone you can't stand if you don't want to get him. Like, hey, what about Boston? We're drafting him to hoard him and make you feel a certain type of way that we've got him. Yeah, your guy in the Lakers.
That would have been hilarious
Boston,
if they would have taken him 30.
We just won the title. We don't care what we get. We just want to make your lives miserable. We're drafting Bronny and we're going to hoard him. We're going to make sure he's ours, and you have to figure it out to get him out.
Yeah,
of
if
here.
he ends up with like the Wizards, it's going to be a brutal time.
Hoard. H-O-O-A-R-D. Not the other term for not the other way to say it. First of all, that's a homonym. That word's a homonym. I'm talking about
what does that mean?
H-O-A-R-D, hoard. Or like you are hoarding a hoard of things. Actually, that's H-O-R-D-E. That's hoard. But you're basically, collecting.
Sure.
You're hoarding assets.
That's your Quick Trip take of the day. Brought to you by Quick Trip. Need something for dinner tonight? Don't cook. Stop by your local Quick Trip. Pick up a freshly prepared, absolutely delicious take-home meal. Get a lesson from Armin Sari, and you might even find
spaghetti, chicken Alfredo, potatoes, salad. He likes to stick to what he knows.
I don't need another situation.
Wipe that sweat off your brow after that one.
No, I'm fine. Because I know the people know what I mean. Hoard, H-O-A-R-D. I don't need another situation.
Said it again.
I don't need another situation where people misunderstand me and think I don't like truckers, which I had to clear up a lot of times yesterday. A lot
of truckers came after you and I.
We got a lot of truckers as Nooners.
We did. I had to clear it up. Yeah.
You hurt them bad.
Yeah, you do a lot of that. Thank you to everybody who came out yesterday and enjoyed Nooner Day 5 with us. It was a remarkable celebration. Like one of our Nooners said, everybody showed up as just Nooners and left as friends.
Love that.
And this leaves you with one of the best feelings in your stomach. Come on now. Tommy Trumpets out. It's been 9 to noon. We'll be better tomorrow. Mike Miller's next.